Hi, welcome back to the Starlake Observatory. My name is Trip Starlake, and we are here for another Star Slug book club. Yay! Yay!
Let's go!
Oh, before I get too far in. Thank you very much, Toto, for gifting Daragar a gift sub. Thank you! Thank you! Oh, you are number one in the gift subs now, so you're like the deacon of slugs.
Yeah, I'm the vice president
You're
of
the vice
Sluglings.
president. Yay! So today we're going to be discussing the second half of A Desolation Called Peace by Arkady. But basically the last chunk of the Teixcalaan duology that we've been in our club. And I'm joined again by Dr. Toto Hex and Realm. And I'm just gonna let them introduce. Go ahead and do that. Thanks.
Yeah, it's Dr. Toto Hex, the smartest science turtle, and your ocean nature. Hello.
So kind, so kind. My name is Realm, your professor and resident guide to the universe. I am so happy to be here. Time for more books, time for more space. Time for everything else. Hello.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that worked. Yay! I have a friend's command.
Oh, snap, let's go.
We have Paper Dawn too, but Paper Dawn is part of the manga.
Hey guys, I think Paper Dawn is muted and also invisible.
Also invisible.
Yeah, muted and doesn't even have his Discord open. That's so weak. That's like yesterday's news. Come on.
They got
You guys
lost.
have to imagine Paper Dawn here.
Right? They got lost on the Grand Line. Okay, they'll come back.
Did you know you can swim up a mountain?
Yeah.
They did
You
not.
can swim up a mountain.
Wait, how?
Yes.
Is there a
can.
gigantic whale on the other side of the mountain?
Yeah. When you start hearing the then you'll know where you're going.
Okay, we're talking about the wrong series here today.
Nani?
But anyway, yes, you're welcome, Cass. I know you. Thank you for meticulously finding their URLs and posting them at the end of streams, but now you don't have to. Yay! Thank you.
Yay!
So yeah, we're gonna be discussing the next, what I think is 10 chapters until we get to the end of Desolation Called Peace. Maybe a few sentences of what happened before is Mahi and Three Seagrass were separated at the beginning of this book. But Three Seagrass got a job offer to go be a translator or figure out a language on the spaceship, the Wait for the Wheel, which is like the main fighting spaceship for the Empire. So she goes there, and then she goes out of her way to go pick up Mahi, who has been dealing with her own, she went home. And the people don't like her there. They kind of want her to die, and she gets to leave because her girlfriend picks her up. Her girlfriend, not girlfriend, picks her up.
And she's basically like, yo, you want to go contact some crazy aliens that are murdering us instead of staying here with your own people who want to murder you?
Want to murder you? She's like, hell yeah.
Yeah, I don't like being murdered. Let's do diplomacy instead.
Yep.
It was a galactic booty call that went right.
Right?
Yeah.
So they head out there. The other characters we haven't introduced are 8 Antidote, who is the heir apparent to be the next emperor of Teixcalaan. 9 Hibiscus, who is the commander of the Wait for the Wheel, the Empire's biggest fighting ship thingy. And I guess 20 Cicada is a pretty important character too, who is her second in command.
And he's like a bald monk dude.
Yeah, and he's a bald monk dude, yeah. And 9 Hibiscus is a shorter, super thick lady.
Yeah, she's strong, but even the book was she's got big boobas.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the exact line was she has strong muscles underneath a large amount of fat.
Yes.
I was like, oh, they're talking about her boobas.
True. There's also a few other characters, 16 Eyes, who's kind of just a bitch, I would say.
Or I feel like she's the whatchamacallit. She's the little know-it-all brat. who's like trying to take over the command of the ships and stuff.
Yeah, that's right. I think so.
But she's like under the command of what's his face?
11 Laurel.
11 Laurel.
11 Laurel, yeah, who's like an old, crotchety old man back in the Empire who's like, oh, back in my day, things were like this. And he's trying to control 8 Antidotes, the heir apparent, and he's trying to like twist the war into helping him somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just think of him like an old politician who stepped back, but also still has his hand in everything. Big measures.
8 Antidote is like under his tutelage,
Yeah,
but 8
he's
Antidote is also starting to be like, I don't know if I trust this guy, and he's trying to go out and find him.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's 19 Ends, who's still there, who is the current emperor.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, as an overview, I guess, I think it was really, on the reread, I think it was really nice how powerful 19 Ad still felt, even though she wasn't really in a lot of scenes.
Sorry. Mommy? Sorry.
Hmm?
Mommy? Sorry.
Oh, mommy? I literally didn't know what you said. That's funny.
Big
No, 19 Ads is
MILF,
like big
MILF mommy energy.
empress, yeah. Oh, and of course there's still Iskander, who's like in Mahit's head.
Yeah, he was the previous ambassador. Their people, the stationers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you guys get all that in chat?
Yeah, you get all
Take
that.
notes.
You get all that. If not, you can also visit our VOD channel, which is in the About section down. I have a
Yeah.
link going to. I don't have a command for it yet. But yeah, where you can watch us talk about books and One Piece. yeah. Take the notes and send them to me later because I'll forget.
And
to
soon, maybe other things more than just books and manga.
Yeah, maybe. Yes, at the end of the stream, we will
Wink, wink.
announce what we are reading next. So stay tuned. The only thing I got was Toto saying "mom." Oh no.
I'm glad you're taking notes. I'm glad you're paying attention. This is important. This will be on the test.
Okay, so quick rundown. People are trying to like control the empire from within on Teixcalaan.
Mm-hmm.
People are trying to control the military without on the Wait for the Wheel, the big ship.
Yep.
There's aliens attacking the empire, and they're like weirdo aliens who are like murdering everyone. It's like a terrible thing. They've like murdered a whole planet. And Mahit and 3 Seagrass are caught in the middle. Two space lesbians caught in the middle, heading out into the Wait for the Wheel to see what this alien war is all about. If they can make peace, or if the aliens will take over everything.
Yeah, and they're trying to translate what they're saying, but what they say is so horrible they usually end up bombing while listening to it.
Yeah.
It's like horrible.
Have you guys played like Trombone Champ? That's what I imagine
Oh
they
my
sound
god.
like. Doo, doo, doo.
Now I imagine like a marching band and everyone's just like, "My eyes, I cannot."
But actually, you did remind me. I found something today. Subterranean Press released oversized special editions of the duology, which I'm sad I didn't know about. But the covers are beautiful, and I wanted to share the memory cover at least right now, just so everyone can see how pretty it is. If we can remember, it's when Mahit in the garden. First.
Wow, that is not what I imagined Mahit to look like.
No, me neither.
Definitely not, but oh my
Oh, and is
god.
that Iskander? Wait, zoom in more.
Yeah,
Yes,
Scanner's in
yes,
the back.
it is
Here, I'll zoom in more.
Enhance.
Enhance!
Enhance.
Yeah, you can
Well,
see
that's
the
not what I
Scanner in the
expected
back.
Iskander to look like either.
No, me
It
neither.
almost looks like a Japanese like woodcut.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
it's very Japanese-esque.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
beautiful, but it's very interesting. It's not what I imagined them to look like.
Yeah.
But
I
it's
could have sworn
probably...
they said she had like brown hair.
Yeah, she does have brown hair, so... Huh.
hmm
And curly, too, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Maybe
honestly, for some reason, the first thing I thought of when I thought of Mahit was similar to like Lara Croft.
Lara Croft!
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly,
Really
just
tall.
like
I don't know. I imagine her
tall
length
cargo
here though.
pants,
Mhm.
like braided hair, just out of convenience. To, like,
Polygon boobs.
Polygon boobs, yeah. I mean, I don't want to see anything more than 2D. I'm telling you right now, okay? 2.5D max.
That's funny. I also on the Desolation Called Peace cover inside, on the inside cover, they actually had a picture of the spaceships that we'll be talking about a lot. So I thought that would be the alien spaceships. Oh, not that one. Shh.
Ooh, that'd be
I'll
great
show
to
that one in
see.
a second.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely what I kind of imagine, like an
Yeah.
atom, like
Oh my
wings.
god.
They're super goopy.
Oh, I didn't imagine it to be goopy though. Yeah, they like spit
No.
acid and it just like
Yeah.
melts their ships.
Yeah, I was like, that's
And they
cool.
also they teleport. They
I
like
have to
warp in and
share
out of
one.
space.
Mm-hmm. It's so goopy.
They're
It
basically the
is.
Zerg.
They are like the Zerg. And then
Yeah.
the next one, I'll share the Desolation cover when we get to this page. So, 1 second.
Hop, skip, and a jump.
But
So
yeah,
what
it's
happened
probably
next?
a good thing I didn't know that they existed because there were only 500 of each, like $100 together. So.
What?
Oh my god.
No. Why
Martine
would
wants
you
to drink
do
martinis
this?
for the rest of her
And I
days.
would have
God,
bought
that's
them.
crazy.
So it's probably good that I didn't know. Maybe someday I'll find one though. So yeah, back to the Wait for the World is where we're starting, which is the ship called. They, right when we left off, Mahit and Three Seagrass made a message for to send out to the aliens to see if they would like respond to it. They also had a big argument before that happened about how Mahit doesn't think Three Seagrass is treating her like, you know, a human. She should have like maybe think about it a little bit. And Three Seagrass is like, well, you are a barbarian, blah blah blah, and they just kind of
Yeah, it's like low-key racism.
yeah, low-key racism.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like Three Seagrass knows she's wrong, but also doesn't think she's wrong, and Mahit is just annoyed with feeling like she doesn't belong anywhere. They're just business partners at this point in the book.
Yeah, and then like Three Seagrass can't understand because she's like, I tried so hard to get to you and take you with me. I love you so much.
Yeah.
And Mahit's like, I love you too, but like also like I don't want to feel like I'm lesser than you.
True. I also think I like how I noticed it particularly towards the end of the book where Mahit has, because we've been in Mahit's head for so long, because it's the only perspective in the first book, that her thoughts, the way that she thinks, like more straightforward, and like she like is talking to herself because she's talking to Iskander. Whereas when it's from Three Seagrass's perspective, it's kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
Like she just thinks everything all at once.
Mm-hmm.
It's cute.
Yeah.
Perspective change. But yeah, so they send out the message, and the three-wheeled ship thing that we just saw actually responds and then shows up. Or at least it's sending out the messages. Nine Hibiscus immediately sends out the message again, which I guess is like a hello, hail, don't kill us message, and immediately demands for the Three Seagrass and Mahit to come back because can't just keep saying hello to them. And we need ideas.
Yeah.
But they're not really wanting to sing with anyone. Three Seagrass has a cat now, like a Karanian kitten, and she ends up going to like a food place and just eating some noodle cakes and talking to the people in the bar and trying not to think about how Mahit's mad at her. And Mahit just kind of, she tries to fall asleep and she like wallows in self-pity, and Iskander tries to calm her down. And then he's like, you're not alone, you're not in exile. You should make it up to her because you really like her, and get some sleep. And I think he like kind of helps her sleep through endocrine response.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're projecting, Mahit, also wallowing is what he said. But Mahit doesn't get much sleep because there's someone banging on her door to go back to the bridge. So back to the bridge. He gets there, well, Mahit gets there well before Three Seagrass does, because Three Seagrass was, like, not anywhere that she was expected to be, I guess. So by the time Three Seagrass gets to the bridge, she's taken aback by how beautiful and powerful Mahit looks, because Mahit had decided to wear all white. Kind of as, like, a power move, like, hey, I was here on 19 ads.
Yeah, and she, 19 ads famously wears all white.
Yes. Yeah. Like Iskander helps her pick it out. It's cute.
Yeah, so like, while that whole fight was going on and like Mahit was trying to go to sleep, while Three Seagrass did want to be distracted from that whole fight, she did, like you said, talk to the people at the bar, but specifically trying to just get more information.
That's true.
She stayed there like the whole night, and in the morning or in the early part of the night when the officer got Mahit and Axe on them for them to come to the bridge, they're like, oh, I thought you guys would be a pair. I thought you would. And so I'm assuming that was why she dressed so confidently, is because she's like, no, I'm not just like I'm not just Three Seagrass's pet. I'm like here on an actual mission.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool.
Yeah. No. It's definitely a statement for her. Like, I think in this book, Mahit takes a lot of initiative in kind of standing up for herself, whereas in the first book, she was kind of reacting to everything around her.
Yeah, definitely was. And I mean, I can blame her. She. But now I feel like
she's kind of like, she's taking her own place in the world and saying like, no, this is who I am. This is, I should be respected. And this is what I bring to the table.
Yeah, and I think because, like, her own people don't even want her, she's like, well, I might as well be who I am. Nobody likes me, whatever. At least I'll be used.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's a coming out story,
Yeah.
Oh.
And, oh yeah. So they kind of think about what they're going to do. Mahit has started drawing on like a holo projector to show, like, make pictures, show the aliens what they want to do. They can't like talk to them. And they like show going down to the planet Paloa 2, like discussing and like talking there. And the aliens agree to that, which is pretty cool. That, I don't know, they thought about doing that so quickly. That's pretty cool, because I think it was probably Tufom's idea too, the communication girl lady, but Mahit, they actually successfully did it, and it was like Mahit did that all on her own, showing her yes. But even then, Mahit is like, okay, we have the message. Can you get me all the anti-vomiting medication you have? And Tufom says like, well, you'll have to ask Medbay for it. And she's like, well, someone will have to do it for me because I'm not a citizen. She like smiles, baring her teeth, which is very stationary.
Yeah. Like she like
Absolute
puts down
baller.
like that's like absolute baller move. She's like, I would do this. Like, look at all these things I can do for you. I'm just like you. Oh, but I can't do this because you won't accept me as one of you.
Yep. I can't buy my anti-vomiting or can't find them on my own. Yeah. Yeah, I really like that scene because, I don't know, it's like the change in Mahit. She starts gaining confidence in herself after crying in her room. Yeah. And then the end of this chapter is just 11 Laurel scolding 8 Antidote for not hiding well on the cameras when the war ministry to find out more. Or he goes to war and then he goes to information to find out more about the mail system. 11 Laurel's like, why are you being so obvious? You're being a spy. And 8 Antidote's like, I just
But
wanted
what
to
if
cross...
I'm not?
Yeah,
No,
I just wanted to
wink,
cross-check my
wink, wink, wink.
information.
Literally, it's just like, but what if I wasn't?
Yeah, it's true. He answers kind of childlike, but he is a kid.
He's like,
so...
you were spying. No, I wasn't.
Yeah,
Yes, you were.
it's true.
No, I wasn't.
Like, yeah, okay, and then he just leaves. Yeah, and Eight Antidote is like mad. Like, I don't like that he's like watching me like that. But I think that this is like the part where, at the point where Eight Antidote definitely doesn't trust 11 Laurel anymore. I think. That's about it. I notice how much shorter Eight Antidote's like parts are, but I think it's a good thing that they are.
Yeah.
He supports the plot,
I
but
don't
he's not...
think. I think last time we talked about some people thinking Aunt Antidote is sort of like a Gary Stu type character, but he really isn't. He has a lot of issues.
Yeah.
He's just like a kid, and he like knows a lot, but also like is frustrated that he can't do the things because he kind of sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, and he gets mad because he like...
He doesn't have the experience and stuff.
Yeah, he knows he's a kid, but he doesn't like that he's a kid.
Mhm.
It's normal kid stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's at conflict with himself a lot. It's like,
And while he doesn't know things, like he's not the best. I'm sorry. You?
Hmm?
I interrupted you. Go ahead.
no, I was saying that like, well, he was at conflict because, like, for example, when he was playing with, Map, 5 Agate's son, he's like, well, I did do that when I was young, didn't I? But then he's like, but wait, I'm 11. But then that was like years ago. But again, I'm only 11, so like that's not that long ago. But like, damn, why do I have to be so small and this, far forward, but also physically just cannot be any older? He's caught.
11 years old now. I'm ready for politics.
Yeah, I'm ready for politics. Yeah. He also just, I think, I don't know, the way he was raised has made him more mature than he actually is, so I think there's just a disconnect in his... But he's doing his best.
Yeah.
We have a small interlude after that about Teixcalaan, the counselor of pilots, goes to interrogate the counselor of heritage on the Hell Station. What Heritage did to Maya. And why it was okay for her to leave after demanding her to stay a day ago.
Yeah, because we found out that Heritage was the one who sabotaged Marquitte's Indigo machine, the machine that ties her to Iskander. And basically they've been wanting her to fail from the very start, from the last book.
Yeah.
And now they're like, oh, she's going to like into the middle of a war field to do diplomacy? Good, I hope she dies.
Yeah. And Nardbat literally is like, I don't care where she is so long as she's not here. And that she was chosen to be the perfect sacrifice.
Yeah, they hate her because she's like, but what if Empire is actually kind of cool though?
Yeah. What if the Empire isn't all bad?
Yeah.
You should like totally come to the Empire, dude.
The volume is up pretty high. Is it? I'll turn them up more. There we go. Okay. That's
Testing.
about as high as I can go.
Hello.
Testing.
Oh, my volume is low. How?
Wow.
Ah. Okay. Hopefully it's okay.
Quote that. Put that on a
That's
T-shirt.
Strange, because I didn't change any of my settings. IDK, but Toto is louder than you. Oh.
Sorry, I'll quiet down then.
No. I
Yep.
think you're okay. Yep. I heard space lesbians? Yes, space.
Yes, I do.
Hello, totally not named Dan.
That's why we're getting hyped.
Hopefully it's better now. Or maybe I'll just have my mic closer to my face. Maybe that'll help? I'm not sure. I've been having some weird mic issues ever since I got my new stand for it, but hopefully that's okay. Ah! Well, let me know if it's not okay. Oh yeah, that's pretty much the entire interlude. Just Onshu is mad that she made that decision on her own, and I feel like Ikako Onshu is the only one who like didn't want Mahit to die.
And he's like the only good one.
Yeah, she's the only one that's like, well, that's not very fair to just kill her.
Yeah, she's like the one supportive aunt
Yeah.
out of like the entire family who all hates her.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but like, I understand that they couldn't give her more time in some respects, but because she was literally dealing with the fact that all of her pilots are dying. But I don't know. I kind of wish. I mean, there was support in the people on the ship giving her a chance to show that she was doing work. But goddamn, I wish she was just a bit more like present in those issues towards the end of the book.
Totally. Feel free to interrupt me whenever you guys have thoughts. We're on to chapter 11 now. And this is when they go down and they travel to Paloa 2. It's a desert planet, and so it's incredibly hot. Mahit hasn't ever experienced heat of this kind. It's just awful. I can imagine it being awful because it's a sand desert.
Wait,
What?
did we already do the autopsy? Was that last stream? Was it this
Hey.
stream?
I think it might have been chapter 9. I think chapter 9 was the autopsy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't
To the best of my
remember.
knowledge.
Yeah, the autopsy is in...
Yeah.
it's 8 and 9. Yeah, chapters 8 and 9.
Yeah. There is the other one that's mentioned later on in another interlude.
Yeah, there's more autopsy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they go meet the funky long cat
Yeah,
space
the
mushroom
funky long
aliens.
cats.
Funky long cat boys.
Funky long cat boys, yeah, they're slinkies, kinda.
Yeah, they have like long giraffe necks.
Hella neck.
Yeah.
Hella neck, but also like murder people.
Yeah, slinky
also
cats,
cats.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but also mushroom.
Also mushroom. So they like have
But also
fur.
trumpet, you said, right?
Trumpet. Oh, trombones. They
Trombone, yeah, they're
trombones.
trombones.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like it. They got the long necks to go. Whoa.
It's true.
It's like a SpongeBob episode was I got
Gosh,
Patrick,
no.
I think.
Oh
That's
yeah,
the swallow clarinet.
yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
True. Oh no. So actually I have Mahit, they like bring down a shade for them to wear. Like they have like a tapestry that Three Seagrass is borrowing from 20 Cicada. So they don't die in the sun. And it's of these like pink and gold lotuses that I guess is like perfectly Teixcalaan. And I actually have a photo of that because that's the cover of the book.
Oh snap.
It's actually pretty beautiful looking.
Oh wow.
The tapestry.
Isn't this also the planet where everyone got murdered?
Yeah, it's also the planet where everyone got murdered. So there's that.
Yeah. They had to hold a entire funeral for the whole planet.
It is still weird that yeah, I think it's strange that Mahi has like straight black hair. Otherwise, it's cool.
I still feel like Three Seagrass is like a bit shorter. I feel like she's at least a head shorter.
Yeah, I feel like maybe she's wearing boots.
Yeah.
Yeah, she could be.
I don't know. But yeah.
I love that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. They are neat. They introduce themselves by playing like the hello noise on like a machine that the aliens make. And the aliens like know it's coming from the machine. They're not stupid. They don't speak like communicate.
Yeah, they speak like trombones.
Yeah, they speak like
as we've
trombones.
established.
And then Three Seagrass introduces herself in an extremely Teixcalaan way. She like does like the three fingers over her chest and then bows. And then she starts singing like a funeral hymn to show that they can communicate like that too, like trombones.
Mm.
And then Mahit joins in, much like the aliens had done. Like like I guess when the aliens introduced themselves, they were like singing, and then the other one joined in on singing, so they did the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're also like keeling over
Yeah,
because
they're
I think
also
it
dying
was
because it's horrible.
yeah, because it's horrible. It's hot. He also has never learned to sing or coordinate anything like that. So she's pretty much like, it's like when a singer grabs from their vocal, like the wrong part of their vocal cords, as opposed to like, I guess more of like the diaphragm. So she's like singing horribly. It hurts. It's hot, and she's like trying desperately to communicate. So
Yeah, this is just marching band camp all over again, isn't it?
Oh no.
yep.
That's funny. It is. But at the end of it, it seems like the aliens are willing to communicate because they do the same, like 3 fingers over the chest and bow to 3 seagrass. So it's going well so far. Even if it's really hot and they want to vomit really bad.
Oh, peachy keen.
Yeah.
So what I was, I think they ended up being able to say about like 20 words between each other the first time.
Yeah, they discern all about like 20 words. Like this is like a electron pistol. This like mostly nouns. I can find.
Yeah, but the point is they're like communicating to each other successfully.
Yeah, and they're mostly like they figure out it's easier for them to communicate if they just draw. So they start
Yeah.
drawing on their little holo projector iPad thingy.
And they're just like, but why are you killing us though?
Yeah, like why
Can you
kill?
stop?
Yeah, please don't. Yeah, why kill? Please don't.
Yeah, I
forget
think
the
it
alien's
was
response, though.
I forgot if it was this meeting or the next meeting that they go, "Hey, please don't kill." And they go, "Well, you could just make more of yourself."
It's the
So-
next meeting, but
Is
yeah,
the next one? Okay.
yeah.
I'm about to say they have a very skewed sense of mortality.
Yeah, yeah. They
Well,
understand.
it's more like they have a skewed sense of individuality.
Yes. Like one
You don't
death,
say.
like it doesn't matter if one person dies because there's a million more of us.
Yeah.
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 It's more like, why would you care if you cut your fingernail off? Those are just cells. You got more cells. They're gonna grow
Yeah,
back.
that'll grow back. It is kind of like that. Oh, freaky.
Yeah. I
Meanwhile,
like that though. I like that aliens in this world actually feel like they have a different sense of individuality and like right and wrong.
Yeah.
Other than like a lot of other sci-fi, especially old school sci-fi like Star Wars, where aliens are just like weird looking people, but they all act the same.
Yeah, I like that it's like they are like actually completely alien to like human morality.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. While they're talking, Nine Hibiscus is like she's watching them, or she's waiting for them to come back, but she can't like just sit there, and she hates waiting. So she goes to talk to 20 Cicada in his room. He's meditating with a Karanian kitty in his lap, and he doesn't like the kittens, but he's like, well, the cat's here, so I guess I have to keep the cats now. It just reminds me of every dad when you adopt a pet, and he's like, I hate the pet, but the pet is like secretly his best friend.
Yep.
And he has like a ton of plants and lots of like special tapestries in his room. He's very different from a normal Teixcalaan person, but he's still like from Teixcalaan. And
He's a hippie.
Oh, sorry?
He's a hippie.
Yeah, he's like a
Kind of.
hippie.
He's
It's
a
true.
hippie monk.
He is.
It's true.
When do they mention his beliefs, his religious
I think
background?
they mentioned it pretty early on.
Oh, yeah,
I
it's
think
pretty
that was
early
last
on.
time. Yeah, he's like
Okay.
what was it?
Homeostat?
Homeostasis?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like everything must be in balance.
Yeah, everything just must be in balance.
Yeah.
The force will keep it.
Mhm.
Lose the balance.
And,
Yeah.
oh, go ahead.
No, I wasn't gonna say anything. It's fine.
Oh, okay. 20 Cicada is just like, I don't want to talk to these aliens. They're gross and wasteful. And also that 16 Moonrise is probably a third Palm spy, and because the War Ministry seems to want to get rid of Nine Hibiscus more than keep her on. They just want her to go to war and die a valiant death. And Nine Hibiscus' response is like, please get that bitch off my ship. But then she's completely distracted because Maheen and Three Seagrass arrive back from too. But yeah, I guess it's just you get a good sense that Nine Hibiscus and 20 Cicada have been like working together for a really long time, and they like completely trust each other.
Oh yeah, they're like BFFs.
Yeah.
I think what wasn't it 19 hibiscus?
9 Hibiscus?
No, 9 hibiscus. I think they mentioned that she's gay though.
Yeah, I think she. Oh no, I don't think they have like a romantic relationship. I just think they're like.
Oh yeah, no, I wasn't saying that, but yeah, yeah, they're like BFFs. But like, I think later while they're like riffing on each other,
yeah, he's like
just mentioned something like, oh no, Swarm mentioned something like, oh, like your type of girl, and she's like, oh, not my type of girl.
Yeah, yeah, they do. Funny.
This is how I read books. Apparently, I just have my gaydar on, and I'm just like, they said something gay.
They said something gay. It's true. They do. Later, I don't even know. I don't even think I wrote it down, but they do at some point. You're right. And then I think the last thing in chapter 11 is that It Antidote goes to ask 19 Ads about the war, because he found out that they got the pretty illegal, like the not illegal, I guess illegal, like spy communication from 16 Moonrise, that like jumped over all like the mail portals, and got their way faster than it was normally supposed to, and how 19 Ads feels about Three Seagrass or Mahit, and what 19 Ads thinks. 19 Ads actually says she doesn't really know how she feels either about them, but she doesn't dislike them, or is as opposed to them interfering with the war as much as 11 Laurel is, or even 3 Azimuth perhaps. And 19 Ads asks her to go find out what 3 Azimuth, the head of the war ministry, is worth trusting and what she wants from the war. And so Antidote's like, I have a mission, cool. Kinda. I don't know, I like that he has such a this adult job, but he thinks of it as like a cool mission kinda at times.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can't
I just
help,
imagine
I feel like
Anya from Spy Family,
yeah,
but like
I kind of
older.
like that.
Micho.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Oh, Dekake. I can't remember what she says. She says ooding, but
Yeah.
Except he's actually been able to shoot a pistol.
yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe he's the real Anya after all.
He's the real Anya. Oh gosh. It's chapter 12.
Oh yeah. So
Oh,
something
yeah.
interesting that happened from the meeting was because they were asking about opinions and, you know, kind of inferring about what they should do. One of the, I guess, under secretaries in the meeting said, well, you know, if you're so concerned or so curious about what's going on, why don't you use the shard trick?
Oh yeah.
Which is something big in the war and the... Is it war? What is the other ministry? It's information, war, and... Oh yeah, science. So like, it's this show, and they're like, what... He's like, what is the shard trick? And they kind of like shut up about it. So this is something like, this is like the first, I guess, real piece of information that a spy is able to find that he shouldn't have or shouldn't have known in the first place. So it also shows the further like divide between science war and like the information department. But not that I'm pretty sure 8 Antidote does not know how much of a separation there is there, but kind of begins to understand that like 4 has their own place, and I want to kind of keep it that way.
Oh yeah. And they don't want 8
Mhm.
about it.
I don't think anything else is said from that meeting. Besides, like, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, so he's basically like a double spy for like both sides almost.
Yeah, kinda. Oh,
That's
yeah, we see the immediate aftermath of that chat, because Eight Antidote decides to go to the gym. He's like, oh, I know where to find 3 Azimuth. She goes to the gym.
I'm gonna exercise.
I'm gonna exercise and get all the details. He kind of just watches her a lot of the time working out, and he's just like staring at her from like a balcony, and then he tries to do some headstand.
There's so many muscular women in this series.
sure
I can't. I have a weakness for strong women.
You can't
Absolutely.
be strong if you're a war minister.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, why are you even here, kid? And he just straight up asks her what 3 Azimuth thinks of Mahit. And 3 Azimuth is like, who? Did 11 Laurel tell you? Ask me that? He says no. Is the truth. And
No.
3 Azimuth says she thinks that Mahit is someone who brings instability, whether she's trying to or not, whether she's trying to do something for the good of people or just for herself. She's just there she will destabilize things. Doesn't really expand further at that time.
Yeah. And then he kind of like has a little moment of like thinking about him, being like, is that what she's all about? Because
Like, is
he
that
had
true?
seen her like before in the first book.
Yeah.
And he was like, she seemed alright.
Yeah, he was like, she just seemed kind of sad.
Yeah.
And let's see. Seagrass and Mahit get back, and they're like drinking a ton of water because they were just on the desert.
Yeah.
They explain what they find to Tufo and 9 Hibiscus. They're not sure how to communicate directly, so 9 Hibiscus tells them to like go around it. Honestly though, this is told from 3 Seagrass's perspective, and she's really not paying attention. She's like, wow. She's really just thinking about how she wishes she was not fighting with Mahit.
Yeah.
She's not really responding to 9 Hibiscus.
It really hurt. It really hurt this part. Because, like, man, girlfriends fighting. Oof.
Yeah, oof.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they obviously both care about each other, but they all obviously still, like, have a lot of their own shit to work out. It's
I
like,
know.
oh. Work out your shit, guys.
Just talk to each other. There's a very, very short little part where, from 9 Hibiscus's point of view, just tired. Things have been crazy for a while now. She's like, there's spies on my ship. I had an entire planet. I had to have a funeral for a whole planet. This is just the worst. And then the navigation guide, I don't even remember his name, shows up and tells her that a scout has found the home planet for the aliens.
Yeah.
And they discuss blowing up the entire planet with poisoned scatter bomb.
They were like, what if we do a genocide?
Yeah, what if we do a genocide? And she's like, let's put a hold on that for now.
Indeed, but more spy stuff. They're doing this all very on the down low, very
Yes.
secretively, because it seems that 16 Moonrise is able to infiltrate the audio network
Yes.
in their ship. So she's keeping an eye on the main people by being in the bridge and being in like the canteen area with the people. But when she's not doing that, she's in like a remote area listening in to all conversations. So that's why the earlier conversation between 20 Cicada and 9 Hibiscus, they're like, get that bitch off my ship right now.
Yeah.
So more secret stuff. I like it really showed the close relationship, which is kind of, it's not that you haven't seen it before in the book or in the series, because obviously there was like 12 Azalea and 3 Seagrass, but from a different perspective of like on the war side, having those two type of people be as close as they are.
Yeah, I think we've mentioned like people having this kind of relationship in the past, but not anymore.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. It made Teixcalaan just a bit more human, but we already knew for a fact that like Teixcalaan wasn't perfect. That it wasn't the the symbiotic relationship that they made it the standard for the whole system and like their empire, but I don't know, it was nice to see. Very wholesome. In a spy thriller way.
Spy thriller way. It's true though. And then things start to okay. So basically, the last part of chapter, what is this? 13? Is this 12? 12. Sorry. Mahit and Seagrass make it back to their room. Seagrass thanks Mahit for her quick thinking and her good look. Mahit is like sort of trying to believe in herself, but is also making self-deprecating remarks still. But then the spicy stuff happens. Suddenly,
yeah, they were like, "We did it!
We did it! We did it!" Yeah, they're kind of celebrating, kind of, in kind of giddy hysteria, I guess. Oh yeah, and Mahi starts like talking a lot about the things that they need to do. And Three Seagrass is like, "Please stop talking," like kisses her.
Yeah. And then what happened?
And oh yeah, they start making out. And then Three Seagrass is like, "Well, I was gonna ask if you were a lesbian, but I guess I don't have to ask that anymore." And she's like, "No."
Right, of course.
And then things get spicier and they have sex. Basically.
But not before
Yeah?
the change in dialogue. There was a change in dialogue between them doing it and finishing.
Oh, right, because they're discussing whether they want to do it on the bed or the floor. Mahit's like, "I'm not that much of a barbarian." And Three Seagrass is like, "But I am."
Oh my god. And then like she gets down on her knees and starts like,
I was like, whoa! She was really
doing the do.
Yeah.
Doing the do.
I don't know how much you can say on your stream.
I don't know how much you can say on
They go hard.
They
We
go
just
hard.
say this, Arkady Martine has a way with words.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Does it work?
Well, I mean, once again, this is how you tell like that this was written by a lesbian.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know. It definitely would have been written like this if it was.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it was like, good scene, good shit, good shit, good shit.
Good. Yes, before stream we were talking about it. I think the consensus is we all liked it. It was good. It was satisfying. Plus, it's like, thank God they're not fighting anymore.
Yeah.
At least not right now.
Yeah, they quite explicit with the details. This is not a book for kids.
It's not a book for kids. Don't read it.
But it is a book for gays. So.
But if you're reading it, I hope you got it from the official sources, because you gotta enjoy this in 1080p.
Yeah.
For
And
all
also,
its
like,
glory.
the.
For some reason, I thought you were going to say it's censored and.
Raw, uncensored handle.
Raw, uncensored.
Raw,
All-
uncensored literature.
Yeah.
Get the real deal.
Yeah,
It's
get
true.
the real deal. You could put a finger on it. A wink.
Wink
Yeah,
with both eyes.
I
'cause I'm bad
actually
at
feel
winking.
like Three Seagrass's thoughts later on are almost more explicit than like what Arkady Martine describes them as doing. But it's funny because that just means she really likes her. Mahit.
Yeah.
uh, Unfortunately, the scene shifts and it's an extremely stark change. I don't know if it's unfortunate. It just is an extremely stark change. There's an interlude, and it's from the perspective of just some young med team cleanup guy. He's on janitor duty and he's cleaning up the med bay room that the dead alien is in. He's cleaning it up, blasting his cool. What are they called?
I think it was like synth.
Yeah, it's like synth
rock.
harmonic jams.
Yeah, I just imagine him just like rocking out.
He's rocking out to shatter harmonics, whatever those are.
Yeah.
And he notices that there's like fungus growing in the mouth cavity, and he notes that it wasn't on his like dossier before coming into the room. So he like grabs a sample of it and then reports it out to everyone. Which is like, I don't know why you would do that. I would not want to touch that alien, but okay, dude.
So, was he a janitor or was he a medical, like,
No, I thought he was a medical.
He's
person,
a medical
right?
guy, but he was on janitor duty as a medical guy.
We're both right.
Yeah.
Got it. So he was, I guess he was just like, yeah, figuring out the redundancies, cleaning up and stuff, he was putting stuff on cryostasis.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
And then he saw the fungal and he went, oh, what's this? Send attached.
Yeah,
Like all the
I feel like
doctors and
this
stuff.
scene is like one I could see in like a movie or something.
Oh,
Like,
definitely.
he's just like
Oh,
jamming
100%.
out, cleaning up the viscera.
Like, oh, that's interesting. I'm a medical person. I'm gonna touch that.
Yeah, he shouldn't have touched that.
No. No. Yeah.
Because
Yeah. He takes the fungus, and he like sends it out to everyone, like that realm, including Tony Cicada because he's on every single email list.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, he kind of just starts realizing that he's dying. He realizes that he had like a cut on his hand, and I think the fungus gets into it a little bit. And it starts growing like crazy. Like it looks fractal like a neural net. Let me see what he pulls the
I mean,
book.
if you've ever seen like mycelium growths inside of a mushroom.
Yeah, that's what it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah, his skin splits at the edge and he can't breathe. There's a nest of infiltrates inside his thumb. Sorry, it's morning grossness. He lives his...
But he becomes pretty dead.
Yeah.
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 It wasn't from the what's it called? It wasn't from the thing that got into him, but he went into like anaphylactic shock.
Yeah. He probably would have died if he didn't go into anaphylactic shock, but yeah.
Indeed. Too much to bear.
The spores just like they grow off of him and it's like but right before he dies he hears a chorus like distant screaming, like the music still playing on his audio plants. His AirPods is echoed and made strange, full of voices that no shatter harmonics had ever sung. And then he heard nothing. Died.
Yeah.
Poor guy. But also dumb guy.
Yeah. He made his choices.
He did. He made his choices. True. Oh. Yeah, oh my gosh. This book made me realize, I was like, gosh, it takes so long to get back to mine and through Steergrass's point of view.
Yep.
It's not for a little while.
Yeah, for a little bit, they're just like kind of going off on this whole escapade of discovering what the aliens are and everything.
Yes. Yeah, chapter 13 starts with, from Nine Hibiscus's perspective, she is using the proprioception of the shard hooks to try to figure out where 16 Moonrise is going to be within her own ship to try to intimidate her to get her to leave. So she finds out where she is, and they have like a really like a biting conversation with each other about 16 Moonrise is like, I don't even want to leave. Like there's no reason to leave. And she makes it really obvious that she is a spy for the Third Palm, for the war people. I also wrote, She makes it obvious that she's a third palm spy and is also a bitch. Why did I write that? But I did.
She is kind of a bitch, though.
Oh, absolutely. She is the pompous. Well, actually,
Yeah,
it's
she
like
really
this.
is.
It's
Mhm.
you know why I said this? Because my teacher said so. So there.
Yeah.
Basically.
I'm like, okay.
Everything is halted though as Nine Hibiscus gets like an emergency call from 20 Cicada saying that there's a fungal bomb in Med Bay and someone has died and now I'm stuck in it. Ah.
End quote.
End quote. Except I don't think 20 Cicada would ever scream. He's like the
Yeah,
most calm
he's
person
just
ever.
literally he's the type of person who would be like, I can't. End quote. Please come. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Nine Hibiscus and 16 Moonrise make their way down to Med Bay, despite all the warning messages. Like, as she's getting there, she's getting a bunch of warning messages like, containment zone, do not come! But, like, she's the captain, so anyway. 20 Cicada reveals that the fungus came from the brain area, and it got into the cadet's open wound and killed him of anaphylaxis. 20 Cicada's like, I don't think it's airborne, but I don't know, so no one can come in here, and we'll see if I die. I don't know. 16 Moonrise again, like, shares some, like, explicit, like, anatomical knowledge.
Anatomical.
Anatomical.
Yes.
Anatomical knowledge of, like, bodies and how they work, and that, like, maybe it was in the spine and it's like a parasitic brain fungus. And perhaps it was left growing in the cadaver as like a trap. Again, 20 Cicada is just like, yeah, perhaps, but I'm gonna wait and see. And then 9 Hibiscus basically it's like, okay, well, let's go get Mahit and 3 Seagrass back up here because they about it. And also be decontaminated because we don't know if it's airborne or not. Before we get back to Mahit and 3 Seagrass, we just see... Actually, it's the part that Realm had just talked about, where we find out about where 8 Antidote finds out about the shard trick. We already talked about that. So we can go to the morning after sex scene.
Oh, I just wanted to say really
We'll go
quick though, I just realized that because, you know, they're cat people and they said they have fur, it's not fur though, they're mushroom people, so it's more like mold.
Yeah, it's like mold, but like I didn't know that at first.
Yeah. Gross. They're mold cats.
They're
Moldy cat trombones.
Wow. Wah, wah, wah.
That's a weird thought in my head now.
Yep.
Was this the interlude that they actually go into more detail about the shard trick? Like, they didn't go into say, hey, here's what the shard trick does, but like, I think they mentioned that 9 Hibiscus was walking through the brig while, you know, popping her eyes in and out, and it's like a whole like network that actually has a fair bit of like autonomy for people. Like, it's solely based off of like, well, I want to know if you're okay with me doing this, and they like give like their captains the okay to use it, and they can use their eyes as a whole new perspective.
Yeah, it really is kind of like the Indigo machines in a way. Except instead of a dead person, it's like they're all live sharing information.
Yeah.
Which is also similar to how the Sunlit, like the police group, work.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Apparently, if you get to be with someone, have a better understanding of somebody, have more of a, not personal, but I guess, for lack of a better term, personal connection with somebody, you can understand their feelings, their thoughts, without even saying it. Like, you can't read each other's minds, but you could quite literally just express emotion through poem, but like through feelings as well. It was kind of, you could essentially have conversations with people without even talking if you were, you know, if you knew each other enough or closely enough.
Right.
It's very cool.
It's interesting. Yeah, because she's like kind of experiencing, like she's like holding it to her face, and she like can see people dying. But the thing, yeah,
Yeah.
it's spooky, but also interesting. um. So, yeah, I guess with Mahi waking up next to Three Seagrass, she's wants to be happy, but she's full of thoughts that like how is she supposed to betray Teixcalaan after having like such amazing sex with Three Seagrass? This isn't a good step forward. And like Iskander's trying to be like, you're fine, it's okay, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I've had sex with like 2 emperors now.
Yeah, no problem. It's fine.
No problem, man.
But she starts crying because it's just too much for her. Very stressful. And then Three Seagrass wakes up and she's like, "Whoa, was it that bad?"
Was my sex that bad? No, it wasn't you.
Yeah, and then it wasn't you.
I just have problems.
I just have problems. Yeah. And comes clean quotation marks. She just reveals that she's supposed to be working for Darsh Taratz, but that she doesn't think she wants to do that anymore. Yeah, and then Three Seagrass is like, well, I guess I'm really good at sex since you told me all your secrets.
I didn't think I was that good at sex for you to reveal all your secrets to me.
Literally,
Yeah.
she's just like explaining her whole life. I just need to understand what I'm doing. And Seagrass is like, so you're telling me the sex was good?
Yeah, so it was good.
You're telling me it's okay?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. And then they kind of just have a nice moment where Three Seagrass takes a interest in like the Lysel Stationer comic that Mahit had brought. Like taking
This
more
is
of
like
an
such a
interest.
lesbian thing. Like, come on.
Yeah, it totally is. Like, she's taking more of an interest in her culture, I guess. They just kind of have a nice moment reading comic books in bed. It's very cute.
If that's not like what lesbians are all about, then I don't know what is.
Right? It was fun. It's nice because I feel like from this point on things get very tense in the book. There is a short moment in chapter 13 where 8 Antidote has a dream of Mahit and birds, and he wakes up and he's like, oh god, why? Then he thinks, well, I can't get any information on Mahit, so maybe I should try to find out more about Three Seagrass. Can't find anything suspicious on the internet. So he decides to leave the palace and like try to find someone that could tell him about Three Seagrass. That's for chapter 13.
Yeah.
Yep.
Quick question: when does 19 ads have the bedside chat?
Oh,
With
she
A
does
Antidote.
that in like chapter 7 or 8. If you're
Okay.
talking about with like the little hollow image thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But not long, huh?
Yeah, she's like, you don't have to be. I made sure you didn't have to be the emperor. Yeah. But she has like a weird like weapon that's also a picture thing. Yeah.
Look at this cool memento, kid. Pew.
The interface. You have to go outside to find your time.
How dare. I would never.
Right. This actually is the chapter that more 8 Antidote actually does like most. He makes his way out of the palace, and he's never really gone outside of the palace before. He's looking for a ship called the Flower Weave, because that's the one that Three Seagrass took to leave Teixcalaan. He goes to the mail place first, and he's like, wow, mail is boring. I want to see all that secret communication cool stuff. And then he hears the evacuation alarms go off like crazy, and he doesn't know what. Everyone starts evacuating an area, and there's like alarm noises telling him what to do. But he's having trouble getting his legs to move. Like, this is his first time, really. He's only 11 years old. He starts actually getting trampled by the people all evacuating. But luckily someone pulls him up, and like he makes it out of like the trampling zone.
Trampling zone.
The trampling zone.
I hate it when that happens. I hate when I get trapped in the trampling zone.
I hate it when I
Yeah,
get in the
man.
trampling zone.
That was like, I'm going for the station. I got zoomed to the trampling zone.
Ugh.
Turn backwards, man.
I think also this particular moment in the book made me well, no, it didn't. I don't forget, but it reminded me that Arkady Martine works as like a city planner partially for New Mexico. So like she like describes the subways as like, wow, isn't it convenient? All this public transportation that can take you everywhere you want to go. And it's just like a city thing that just exists and you don't have to pay for it. It's just funny. That bit.
Mhm.
What if infrastructure was really good, though?
Yeah.
Projecting a little bit. Wow, wink, wink. You could have done something like this. Totally, wink, wink.
It's only 2 paragraphs, but it was very pointed to me. But yeah, he's really 8 Antidote's really overwhelmed, which is understandable. You got stepped on by a bunch of adults, and it's your first time.
Stepped on, but not in the good way.
Yeah, but not in a good way.
He also traveled for the first time out of Palace Earth.
Right.
And like tried to figure out the train station, which he couldn't do until he realized, oh shit, I have a cloud hook. I can actually navigation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which I related to. GPS for everything.
Right. You're right. He crouches down, he starts crying because he doesn't like everything is loud and he doesn't know what to do. But when he opens his eyes, Five Agate is she's sitting there. She like went there for him.
Because they have like security cameras on him at like all times.
Yeah. Yeah, she says she's there to pick him up. The alarm is just noting that a train had derailed, which is actually pretty unusual because that hadn't happened in a really long time. She asks why he had left the palace. And 8 Antidote is honest and just explains he was trying to find the flower weave to ask about Three Seagrass. Five Agate's like, well, why don't I just let you talk to Three Seagrass herself? Let's go back to the palace. And they go back. They go home, basically. Which is like... Five Agate again is like always sent out for rescue missions.
So true! Oh my goodness, I just realized. Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
It's like always rescuing fools.
He rescues everybody. Always rescuing fools.
Yeah.
She's like the most like actual mom character. She like really is a mom.
Yeah. That probably helps.
Yeah. It was nice. And when we return to the perspective of Three Seagrass and Mahit, they're like, let's go down to Paloa too, but instead they're dragged off to Medbay to have an intense decontamination bath. So they're just like standing next to each other naked, just getting sprayed with, like cold water and I don't even know, disinfectant. And it's very unpleasant. Three Seagrass is like pondering, really thinking about last night, and she's like, how come all the books that I read were like, if you have sex with an outsider, you're like a bad person? That was great. These people are losers that wrote those books. Because it's distracting while you're getting sprayed with cold water. And then 20 Cicada is just like opens the door to the contamination bath and is like, I'm going down with you. I have this weird fungus thing and I need to ask them about it.
It's a weird fungus thing and I need to ask them about it.
That's pretty much what he said.
No,
they have athlete's foot or something.
They have athlete's foot of the brain.
That's not a good prize.
Not a good prize. It's true. Yeah, he says, I wanted to show them this and ask them what it's for. And he just shows the little plastic cube with like a fractal of white fungus in it. And then it's more 9 Hibiscus and 16 Moon Rising having arguments about what 9 Hibiscus should be. thing, and how like 16 Moonrise wants to fight for her people because that's kind of what. But I guess she also wants to do it, and Nine Hibiscus is like, that's cool, but I don't want to have an eternal war.
Yeah.
I'd rather not do that. And Hibiscus is coming to the realization that maybe 3 Azimuth and the third Palm have completely different goals than her. And maybe they're not good people, yeah.
Just a thought.
Mm-hmm.
And she still doesn't like 16 Moonrise. And they continue to argue until Two Foam, the comms person, says that there's a direct comm from the Empress, Her Brilliance, and she would like to talk to the envoy, 3 Seagrass, immediately. And Hibiscus is like, well, I guess we gotta bring them back up from the desert, even though they're like heading down to the desert, like as they were talking. That's chapter 14.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a realm you had mentioned that when Mahit Seagrass, 3 Seagrass, and 20 Cicada go down below it too, they notice that there's different cat trombone aliens. And they start conversing again, and Mahit draws like a "don't kill us" drawing. But then the alien just draws more after the dead body. Like, hey, it's okay. Like, you can there's just more of you, or if you die, we can make more of you. It was unclear as what it was at the time when I had first read the book, but now I know it's like, but there's more of you, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, interesting enough, even though they named the first 2 1 and 2.
Yeah.
They named these guys 3 and 4, but 3 and 4 already knew how to draw, even though they were completely different people.
Yeah, they were like sharing all the same, like, it was like going on off pause.
Yeah, they were like, that's weird. How come they know everything?
Exactly. Foreshadowing. Woo!
Yeah. 20 Cicada gets annoyed pretty early on and is like, I'm showing off my weird fungus that I found. And it makes the aliens scream in unison when he shows it to them. Like, but they like recognize, Mahit and 3 Seagrass recognize that it's like a victory scream, but it's not quite a victory scream. They're not sure what it is, but they don't get to find out what it is because the 19 ads has called them back to the ship. So they leave Cicada down on the deck. 20 Cicada.
He's just like, don't worry, I'll be fine.
I'll be fine.
I'll be fine, I think.
Probably. I feel bad because I'm talking like he's like this, like I'm gonna do this thing, but he's just extremely direct, and very calm at all times. But
yeah, he was directly blunt, but like in a good way. He's like, he didn't want to give him false hope, but he's like, I'm confident in my abilities, but I think I will be all right, probably.
Yeah, I think he was kind of chill with maybe dying though. He's like, I don't really want to die, but if I die, it's for the people. So
yeah, Mahit, they're leaving, and Mahit's like, don't die. And 20 Cicada is like, everyone dies eventually.
yeah. And he had like the whole thing with the tapestry too. Like he brought his like favorite tapestry, or he gave him his favorite tapestry to show them. And then they're like, well, wait, why are you giving this to us? What if we die? And they just take it. He's just like,
yeah.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But so essentially, he's being a smartass, but because he's smart enough to know what he means.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, I'll probably have it anyway. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Which I respect, because I would say the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, if someone said,
I think he's kind of weird. I mean, like, I don't know.
He's weird, but
he's weird but cool, but also kind of weird. Like,
yeah, he just has a very particular way of thinking.
yeah. Oh, I just meant in terms of like the smart ass remarks, where he's just like, we all die eventually. I'd be like, fair enough.
I think he's
Same.
cool, but I think he's the character I relate to like the least in this book.
Yeah, I don't even.
Well, outside of like the just straight up like jerk people. Like
Yeah.
the protagonist,
I think he's kind of described as being kind of otherworldly too. Like, he always knows what's going on in the ship. He's like on every single email chain. Like, he knows everyone on like every ship. That's why his like nickname is Swarm. But yeah, but at the same time, he's still very human because he has all these plants in his cat. The cat kind of reminds me of Data from the Next Generation Star Trek, but not really, because I don't think Swarm is actually like Data at all. But next, oh yeah, Nine Hibiscus is like, he's so disturbed that 20 Cicada has been left down on the desert, even though like she knows that like once 20 Cicada has made up his mind, that's what he's going to do. She goes to his apartment and sees a note to like water his plants and feed my cat, and she's trying not to cry because she doesn't want her friend to die, and she's like trying not to think that he might die, and she goes and she waters the cat and feeds the plants.
She waters the cat.
She does. She accidentally pours water on the cat.
I don't remember this.
She does, because the cat. No, the cat was sleeping in the flower pot.
Oh.
Yeah, she was having her whole like self monologue. She's like, if he dies, like she's like very like high strung because she's like, if he dies, who the hell is gonna take care of this Karanian cat? I don't even know how to take care of your plants.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who's gonna take all this stuff in your room? I can't do anything with it. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, and yeah, she ends up like kind of making a mess. She's stressed out. She then, as she's like doing that, she gets a message from 16 Moonrise saying that she now knows where the home planet is too of the aliens, and she is willing to fire at them because she wants to fight for the Empire instead of a siege of attrition. But she will wait some time. And Nine Hibiscus is like further annoyed with everything. She just has a very stressful job. Trying to prevent people from killing each other, except her people are dying.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, which the opinion of to this just blow them up is not a minority opinion. Like, if Nine Hibiscus didn't have as much of a conscience, like, she has already weighed the option to just blow them up since she learned about the planet. It's just that, you know, she's willing to try out something different to see what would happen, which is originally why, 19 ads put her here in charge of the Legion in the first place. That she do something crazy enough to make it all work. So, but she has thought about it in an earlier conversation between Cicada and Nine Hibiscus. They said, well, I do want to do that, but I'm listening to your opinion to hold off, so we're not doing that. So we're seeing a lot of internal strife, even though they all pretty much share the same opinion.
That's true. It's kind of like half of them want to just blow everything up, but it's like also they're still recognizing that it's like not a good solution.
Yeah, like you can understand their resentment because they have well, now that we learned, a much more in-depth understanding as to the pain that the shard soldiers are going through. So they're already just like, well, I just can't wait, Some people are literally just like hell-bent on being soldiers, and some people are mourning, the active killing of their other pilots. And then there's the third party who's just like, I want to do, but I know I shouldn't. It's, both these people, I think Onshu and, well, until towards the end of the book, I think Onshu and Nine Hibiscus are like the most stressed out people. I think out, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a lot to deal with. It's true. The next part of the book is 8 Antidote waiting for his response, or the response from Mahit and 3 Seagrass, when he gets back to the palace, though, it's like, I think, oh, no, that doesn't happen yet. I'm not gonna say that yet. Okay. The question he asked them is, why do you believe that negotiating with the enemies will succeed? And why did you choose to go instead of anyone else in information? So he's actually asking the question of Three Seagrass, but Mahit's there in the message.
Mm-hmm.
And Three Seagrass explains that she went because she wanted to, that she wanted to do more than just work behind a desk and like have her dishes pile up and write bad poetry. And she also wonders, like, she says, like, well, if I wasn't supposed to go, the Emperor would have, like, stopped me. For the alien part of the question, she initially says, like, because the aliens can communicate, so I think it's worth trying to communicate with them. But Mahit steps in and says it's because Three Seagrass likes aliens and thinks outside of Teixcalaan are still actually humans. We understand that the aliens understand. They both understand that the aliens can communicate, even though they're not like communicating in a way we understand.
Yeah.
So
But they're like still like some sort of sentient.
yeah, so they're worth communicating with. Maybe they can negotiate, and perhaps there's something human in there after all. So peace can possibly be brokered.
Indeed, and that part really stuck with A Antidote.
Mm-hmm.
The whole
Yeah,
like
they
there
understand
could be possibly
death.
humans.
Go ahead.
No, it's all good.
No, I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying that like that he was like sort of taken aback that these people that we barely know anything of are being seen as like potentially being human, even though like the term now is so loose compared to what he's known about these people so far. Like he's, as far as he's aware, he's going with whatever everybody else is saying, that he hasn't had time to really think about his own opinion, but now he just got these answers, albeit they're giving him the answers without giving him the answers.
Yeah.
But I don't think they would actually give him any answers if like Heat wasn't there. Like Three Seagrass was giving the very educated, profound, sort of information-esque answers. I mean, Heat's like, well, why don't you think about it? These people could be human. There could be peace. This is why we're trying to do it.
Yeah.
So what do you think about it yourself?
Yeah.
So,
like, I think Antidote refers to this again, that Mahit says, like, I know that they don't care about death the way they do, but they do understand death. That I think that really stuck with Antidote. That actually kind of strongly shapes his actions later in the book. So yeah, they give him a good answer, I think. And then at the end of it, it's a lot for an Antidote to take in, and he decides to help the 7-year-old with some matrix algebra.
Yeah, how are 7-year-olds doing matrix algebra?
Like,
Come on,
matrix algebra.
the future's wild.
The future's wild. It was a really goofy part at the end of it. Oh. Going back to Three Seagrass's perspective, when they're done, Three Seagrass is like, I don't even want to. I wanted to make that kid wait, but Mahit is the one that said no. If anyone should know about what's happening, it would be the Emperor heir. So they answered the question. But now they want to go back down to the desert, but they've been stopped because Hibiscus tells them the situation has changed. Because they have found the home of the alien planets, and if the 20 Cicada doesn't come back up with something more than let's have more diplomatic negotiations, she's going to tell the fleet to fight and destroy the home planet. And that's that. Actually, we're an hour and a half in. If you guys want to take a few minutes break, we can do that.
Okay. That might be best.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, I don't want you guys to fear pants or anything, because I might. So.
What? No.
So
Never.
Could
That
not
would
be
never
me.
happen. Could not be me.
So let's take a few minute break and then we can go. We have a few more chapters left.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So excited.
All right. See you in a minute.
Be right back.
Oh, we're back. We're waiting. We're back into space.
Yay, space.
Yay, space.
Love a good space.
Last 100 pages of the book pretty much. So, in my opinion, things get really fast towards the end. I don't know how you guys felt, but it was like...
Yeah, I think this happened in the last book, too.
Yeah, it's just the plot picks up and then everything gets really fast. It's
I wouldn't call it like a pacing issue. It's just like how she paces her books.
It's just how she likes to write, I think. Which is okay. We're actually at another interlude. This is like sorry, I punched my book and then it flew away from me.
Your books.
I punched
Space
my book.
time.
It's like the longest interlude, and it also is like from several different perspectives, like tiny little snippets. There's like a little bit where the aliens, from the aliens' perspectives, and they're thinking about the people that they're talking to. They're like, why didn't they eat the person maker, referring to the fungus that's in the plastic box. They're like, oh, they're acting like it's a poison, like we're poison. Why aren't they? Why
didn't they eat our fungus?
Yeah, why won't they eat our fungus? And they're like, it's like, it's not really. It's more so written like it's a little like hostile, but more like they don't understand than being hostile.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. At the same time, 16 Moonrise is setting up to destroy the home planet that they had found. She kind of thinks about why 11 Laurel sent her there to push 9 Hibiscus to come to want to go fight all the people. And like, well, I'm gonna do it now, I guess. Even if it's an unanswerable atrocity for an entire planet.
Yeah.
Then we have the alien perspective again. I write it as the we because they never name what the aliens are or like what their name should be. They notice that
yeah, but it's like the we, right?
Yeah, they're like they are the we. In my head, I call them the we.
Mm-hmm. I call them Mushroom Trombone Cat.
Yeah, and Mushroom Trombone Cat's good too. I like that more. They notice that the we are like going through jump gates. They find more silent ones, and they're moving towards. They see that there are people moving towards them. The silent ones.
They like feel.
They feel them. It's true. They feel people moving through the jump gates.
It turns out they're a hive mind kind of deal.
It does. And so they start attacking, basically, and heading out towards different jump gates. And then we jump to Teixcalaan's perspective because there's alarm bells going off in the cell station because the aliens are coming through the jump gate and kind of like, oh no, guess we have to fight now. And Onshu's like scrambling to get all of the pilots and ships to fight. She sees Tarat's down in like the ship bay. She's like, oh, he's running away. What a coward. Hate him.
Yeah, our Tarat's is not it.
Which I was about to say, with spoiler alert, we hate him.
Yeah, we hate him.
Disgusting.
Disgusting. Yeah. Yeah, and Darth Tarat's is like, I'm not running away. I'm going to get Mahit Zmar, and we're going to redirect this war. And he like takes off in his ship. Onshu's like, okay, I guess we'll see how that goes. Maybe he'll just die.
I thought he was gonna die because it said something like that was the last time, or it was like she never got to hear him explain why.
It's true.
He left, and I was like, oh, he's dead.
Oh, he's dead. Yeah.
He's dead.
Oh, he really dead.
He wasn't. Oh,
it's disappointing. Just
yeah.
5/6 of the government hate him. Yeah. We cut to small talk about how 11 Laurel is willing to sacrifice 16 Moonrise if it means taking out 9 Hibiscus and making the war division relevant again. That's like the little blurb I wrote. Because, yeah, it's just a little talk about how, like, yeah, we need to have a continuous war because if we're always in times, then what's the purpose of the ministry? Which
He's
kind of
basically warmongering old man. He's
Yeah,
just Senator Armstrong from
Yeah.
Metal Gear
Yeah.
Rising.
You're right.
I had wished someone asked where they got their sources from. I would have, if I knew what that relation was when I read the book, I would have started cackling.
My gosh. And that's all that little bit is. And 3 Azimuth is like, or actually, it's just his internal thought about that. He's just like, yes, we must continue the war forever. And then the last bit, it's the shards all connected together, all thinking and knowing when each other are going to die. Like we've discussed earlier. They get the code that's, we need to speak with the Minister of War, Code Hyacinth now. And that's it, actually. Just, yeah, it's just a bunch of different little snippets of what everyone
kind
is
of
thinking.
like skip what happens during the actual war, but it's more like what's her face died? The bitch. She dies.
Not yet, but yeah.
No, not yet. Oh, I'm skipping ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
I thought we were at a different part.
No, it's okay. You're right, but not yet.
Yeah. I got my order confused.
You're right. They're not quite going to go fire on the planet just yet. But they're getting ready to. And all the shard pilots are still fighting the aliens because the aliens are now much more hostile because they think that they're going to try to attack their home planet. Which makes sense, actually. But, yeah. Like, I think
probably the first logical move they've made. They made their thoughts of.
Yeah. Yeah, like, you're actually attacking our home planet, so we retaliate. It's like normal response.
Well, they were logical before. They were like, basically, oh, your empire is spreading into our empire. Well, they don't call it empire. They're just like one person, basically.
Yeah. You're spreading into us. Yeah. True. Chapter 16 is also a 8 Antidote heavy, but it shows a mix of everybody. 8 Antidote is reflecting on the message that he got from Mahit and Seagrass. He kind of thinks about like what kind of a person the aliens are, and he makes the connection like maybe they're kind of like the sunlit, how they're all connected to each other. He's like, what if that's the case? And he thinks if he's right, he needs to tell somebody. So he wants to go tell 3 Azimuth. So when he arrives at the War Ministry, he hears 3 Azimuth and 11 Laurel discussing how they're going to like blow up the entire planet. And 8 Antidote is like, oh no, I don't want them to die, not if they're people. He also gets revealed what the shard trick is, which he wasn't. We talked about it earlier, but that actually happens now. And 8 Antidote basically makes this decision, like, if they're people, just because they only have one mind doesn't mean they're not people, and just because they don't care about death in the same way, that doesn't mean they don't care about death at all. So he decides to try to stop the entire planet from being blowing up, and goes to 19 Ads to talk about it. And I think, I don't know, it's admirable that 8 Antidote is trying to, like, not kill anyone, even if, when he does go to talk to 19 Ads about it, he's like, yeah, it's horrible that we're blowing these people up, but sometimes we have to make horrible decisions. He kind of acts like he's being naive, but I still think it's admirable that he doesn't want to kill these.
I feel like she's also kind of like testing him, like, what kind of king will you be? Will you be just like me and your predecessor?
Yeah, because like 19 Ads mentions like a few times that she would rather have an annoying and stubborn ruler or king than, you know, like a dumb or nearsighted, you know, one that just inherits and doesn't really think for themselves, express themselves, because he could have very well been, if not for him avidly being told, like, hey, go learn what everybody's thinking about, you know,
Yeah, which
because
is like what what's his face is trying to do. 8 Laurel?
Yeah, 11 Laurel.
11 Laurel. Oops.
Whatever.
11 Laurel is basically trying to like control him and be like, oh, you should do this way.
Yeah, he is.
And he's basically like 19 ends, even though she's not like seen with him a whole lot. You can tell that she's watching him because when he was getting trampled, like immediately, like Daggett was there to pick him up.
Oh yeah,
She's watching him, but she's kind of like letting him do his own thing and like discover himself.
Yeah, come to his own conclusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, like thinking back to like the first book, there is now, you know, knowing the history of 19 ads and his ancestor Six Direction, there is no way they're not in a state where conquest, life, and death are just so intertwined as they were like 80 some odd years ago when they were, you know, trying to conquer planets and do everything for Teixcalaan. So he really has no way to think for himself. They helped establish such a reign over everything that could have very well just been like a belligerent king.
Yeah.
So character development, ooh.
Yeah, I think an important shortly after that they're still arguing after 19 ads explains why they're going to blow up the planet. And 8 Antidote's like, but what about those 80 years of peace that my predecessor talked about? Like, don't you want that? And 19 ads kind of turns it on him like, I made all of this happen so he wouldn't have to be the emperor. And she explains like the entire Iskander's entire plan to like get the Imago machine, put it into and tells him all about that, and he's like, he doesn't really care. He's just like, I'm not making this decision because he wanted it. I don't want these people to die.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it really is his idea. It's not just like his predecessor's idea. It's like both of their ideas. So yeah, it's like he did it in a very childlike way, but still it was like him firmly making a decision for himself.
Right.
Good for him. What else? Let's see. In this chapter we have yeah, so it's mostly the big parts are 8 Antidote arguing with 19 ads and discovering the shard trick, because a lot of the little bits are Mahit and 3 Seagrass arguing with 9 Hibiscus, like, don't just blow up the planet, we're talking to these people, they can clearly communicate. And 9 Hibiscus is like really in a bad position because she needs to like fight because she's the commander of a fleet of ships that fight, but also her friend is down on the planet, possibly going to die to these aliens, and there's a mass death on the planet.
Right.
But there's a part of her that I think wants to believe that peace can be brokered, so she's not...
It's like she wants to believe in peace.
Yeah.
But she's also like practical about it.
Yeah. Yeah, and she's getting so annoyed talking to them.
Yeah.
But all of that is kind of thrown out the window when Tufum is like, hey, there's a planet coming, there's a little ship coming towards us. And
who could it be?
Who could it be?
Oh my goodness.
Who could it be? And it's they hail the ship, and on the comms it's Darsh Tarat's coming towards them.
He's like so mad.
He's all angry.
It's like, how dare you not let me in?
Yeah, and it happens right at the time where Mahit's like, good, we bought time, they're not gonna blow up the planet, and then Darsh Tarat shows up.
Yeah.
Just ruining it. 9 Hibiscus is about to shoot Tarat's ass out of existence when Mahit's like, don't do that, stop.
That's like a sixth of our government right there. Please
Oh,
don't.
Please
stop.
don't. We're gonna go to war with you.
No, no,
Yeah, please
don't
don't.
do that.
I was
No.
doing a little more like plain about it. Oh, please don't. Whatever you do, stop.
That's it.
Yeah,
No.
Three Seagrass backs her up and says it's rude to kill someone who announced that they came in peace. So they let him on board, but he's in restraints the whole time.
Good.
And that's the end of chapter 6. Yeah, I was like, man, she should have just shot him. Just destroyed his little ship. No one has to know about it. Just say it's a war casualty. Because that's what Night Hibiscus even says. She's like, we can just make it a casualty. Who knows? They might not have been us. I was like, do it!
Totally expected him to die.
Yeah.
What
Me
an
too.
angry little man.
Dude, the angry little man that he is. He's brought on board immediately, and then he just starts yelling at Mahit for not doing what he asked her to do. And Three Seagrass finds him to be very rude. He is. They all start talking, yelling in Teixcalaan, so everyone understands. As it's revealed that Mahit is like a quotation mark spy for Tarats. And they turn on Mahit and put like a gun to her neck, I think. Because she's like a spy and they're not sure what to do. Three Seagrass calms everyone down, saying that we need to discuss all of our options. Maybe we should see if Cicada has talked anymore with the aliens. So they comply to get more information out. It gets kind of like chaotic here because they're going back and forth between Cicada and Mahit. 20 Cicada and Mahit. So 20 Cicada confirms he's still talking to the aliens. We're still talking, everything's okay. And the scene goes back to Mahit. And Mahit explains that she had been doing what Tarats had asked all along to influence the behavior of the aliens. What the stationers want. I guess. Maybe you guys can help me explain it better. Because we talked about this just before stream. Three Seagrass defends her, saying that Mahit had just done what the Empire asked her to, and it's for peace, and so no one's gonna destroy the station, so everything's okay. And also Mahit wasn't doing anything against the Empire, so it's okay. So
she's like, I'm literally like, it's almost like the people in this world like do not understand that some people actually though just want peace.
Yeah, like there's no secret agenda. Mahit just doesn't want to die and doesn't want everyone to kill each other. Yeah.
But like, it's almost like everyone in the world is like, oh, you have some sort of hidden agenda for power because we all want power too.
Yeah. Yeah, Mahit literally just wants to belong somewhere. Poor Mahit. But Nine Hibiscus, like, she's like, okay, and removes the gun from my head. And then decides to interrogate Tarats instead. Yeah, I liked this bit because Nine Hibiscus shoves Darsh Tarats into like a meeting room, but he's like way too tall for the meeting room because all the Teixcalaan are tiny. He has to like crouch down.
Yeah, and then like Darsh Tarats starts like insulting her in like the LaSalle Station language.
Oh,
he's like,
yeah.
fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
Yeah, he's just he is just like spewing derogatory terms at her. But when they do talk in like Teixcalaan, he's like mean to her. Like, thanks for not killing me, bitch.
He's just being like
The
an old
first like
man.
non-traitorous thing you've done, not kill me.
Yeah.
Just so mad.
Yeah. And Nine Hibiscus is really just trying to get information, like how many are fighting the pilots in the station? Where are they? And he's just like, all of our pilots are fighting, and we haven't done that forever. And we should talk to Teixcalaan about it, but she isn't here. And yeah.
And I quote.
Yeah, Nine Hibiscus is like actually remaining calm. And it's like, I just want you to point out on the star charts where it is.
Yeah, just like calm down, tell us where the enemies are. He's like, you can't tell us where the enemies
Like
are.
this like 60-year-old man throwing a hissy fit.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I feel like this, like, maybe subconsciously Arkady Martine was like, imagine Donald Trump or something.
Oh my gosh, perhaps.
It's like this man with all this power suddenly isn't able to get what he wants. And he's
Yeah.
now throwing a hissy fit.
He's throwing a hissy fit. He really was, though.
No.
Like, he couldn't be argued with at all. Oh, yeah, but then they suddenly get, Two-Foam, who's more important than I thought. It's, like, they're like, oh, we're getting a call from 20 Cicada. You gotta come out here, 9 Hibiscus. So she goes out there. 20 Cicada's already talking with Mahit and Seagrass, Seagrass. He's explaining that the aliens all talk with one another by eating this fungus. Like, they give their babies this fungus, so they all become part of the we. I guess. They don't understand or like that the humans don't want to be part of the we. Mahit is fascinated that they've found a completely organic way of preserving memory. And Iskander's like, it's not like that, it's weird, man. And then I guess they're all like, oh, okay, so I guess they weren't trying to sabotage us by planting that fungus there. That's just part of their
It was just like an
body.
accident.
Yeah, it was just an accident. And
Which is, you know, it's good. It's good that books do this, because a lot of books would be like, oh, it was a misunderstanding. They're going to keep misunderstanding it for like a whole book.
Oh, yeah.
And no, it was like, okay, it was a misunderstanding. We got it now.
Yeah, we got it.
Everything's under control.
Under control. They weren't trying to kill us. It's just part of their body.
Mhm.
Yeah. So 20 Cicada's like, yeah, that's right. They weren't trying to kill us, so I'm gonna eat this fungus. Like, what?
Yeah.
No!
Nani?
No!
Nine Hibiscus is just like, I have this
Don't.
prisoner. I had this person who could be a spy, probably is a spy. Then I had this spook trying to tell me otherwise.
Yeah.
Then I have 16 Moonrise. And then I have my best friendo telling me he wants to eat the mushroom from the
mystery
cat
mushroom.
trombone
Alien mushroom.
people. And I can't believe this. Nah. And
Yeah.
I'd be stressed too.
Yeah, totally. Meanwhile, 8 Antidote, he comes up with a plan. He almost gives up, like he can't do anything. Like, well, I'm just a kid, I can't change the fate of anything. But then he comes up with an idea. He writes an imperial order to not use planet-destroying tactics on the enemy unless absolutely necessary. Like, and he puts it in a 19 ads colored and sealed infofiche stick. And realizes he has to go down to the mail area to find a shard pilot and to mail the infofiche stick off at like high priority. He's anxious about it, and he like actually
the mail came back.
Yeah, the mail came back. The mail's important. He barfs, but he goes back down to the mail area anyway.
Oh, it's so intricate. Like he pretends to take a shower.
Yeah.
And then he throws up because he's so nervous. And then he hides away from the camera, makes the letter,
Mm-hmm.
and then goes down to the station, pretending to be like totally normal, like his normal self.
Mm-hmm.
And then he rides the station, and then puts his cloud hook on a train
Mm-hmm.
to make sure they don't like follow him or tail him. Then he tries to go to the station by himself, and then he makes it. And then he has to like coordinate everything with the mail people to believe that he's just a very fast courier to
Mhm.
send out the imperial orders. And I like how he's like, I got this far, but like I can't look, but I really want to see them send it. But I can't look because that would be too suspicious.
Right.
And he's like, oh well, I have to go see a shard pilot because he learned about the shard trick.
Mhm.
And conveniently, right there in front of him, turn the corner, were 2 shard pilots.
It's true.
I laughed. I laughed so hard in my car.
Yeah. He realizes that like he called them over because if there needs to be like mail sent super fast, that they're gonna do it. But yeah. It's just funny the way it's written.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We're actually going to chapter 18 now. It's a good segue. Yeah, I thought it is really funny because the shard pilots are like, is this kid really the Emperor Heir? I don't know.
He's like, check the internet. I am.
I am.
Check your facts, brother. I'm that guy. It's okay.
I'm that guy and I really need to get into shard. Yeah, and eventually they're like, well, okay, I don't want to be the person that denied
That guy. I don't want to be that guy who like doesn't let the Emperor in. So
yeah, so I guess we gotta do it. I really hope you're the Emperor. And it's funny because they're like, I thought the Emperor Heir was like 5 years old.
it's like I'm 11.
11.
Well, actually, I'm 11.
Yeah. It's goofy. But yeah, they explain how to use the shard and how the shard trick works, kinda, and tell him how to use it, and he gets in there. Oh, yep, and closes it and turns. The program.
Yeah.
So the shard program runs off of the engine's power reserve because the computing power it requires would just fry your brain.
Mm-hmm.
So they needed to run the ship and then go into the ship's power source, and then he was able to get connected to the whole network of shards all concurrently. Like, they mentioned that it looked like a kaleidoscope.
Yeah, it's like a kaleidoscope. Yeah. He like when he turns it on, Martine really writes that he falls into a void of scream. Then he dies like a ton of times before he's able to like make out what he's doing because he's seeing all these people die or feeling them die, I guess. And eventually he's able to call out and be like, "Hey, if you're that person taking that message from 3 Azimuth to the Wait for the Wheel, stop and don't do it. Please don't do it.
Do the genocide, please.
Please don't do the genocide."
Yeah, please. I'd rather you not do a heckin' genocide right now.
Don't do a genocide, please. And he keeps like thinking that out in the shard pilots' minds. Eventually, one of them responds, and they're like, "Well, will this mean that we can stop dying? If you have a solution to prevent pilots from constantly dying, then they'll do it." And he says, "I promise I do." He hopes that that's enough. That that they won't get genocided. He's mostly succeeded in his plan, and he feels himself being pulled out of the shard by a sunlit policeman. And 18.
Yeah.
So he did the thing.
Yeah.
His own initiative. Good job.
He hacked into the Matrix.
Yeah, he hacked into the Matrix after doing Matrix algebra. Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's why Matrix algebra is important. You gotta learn it.
Yeah, so you can hack into the Matrix. Back on the bridge, and I guess the desert, Tony Cicada explains that their system, the system of the we, is out of balance because humans aren't part of the system, and so if they like see something that isn't part of the system, that it either must go away or become part of the system.
Yeah, and it's almost like they're like not quite religious, but like it's
Kinda.
like we must spread like the song of our people.
Yes, we must constantly spread, like manifest destiny.
Just like cats.
Cats, yes.
Just like
Meow!
cats and trombones.
And trombones. No.
Meow. Yeah, like something like that.
Yeah. Iskander and Mahit debate like how similar the aliens are to Mago like machine, and Iskander's like, it's not like that. You're not losing your mind, Mahit. They don't know. if it'll work. Mahit supposes that eating the fungus must work. It would work, become part of the we, but how would they know? And then the rest of this chapter is Tarat's yelling at Mahit. Genuinely, it's Tarat's yelling at Mahit.
Yeah, it's the Tarat show. Just
Yeah.
He's like, how angrier could I get right now?
He's like, I get why you're here, Mahit. It helps you out because you're not loyal to the station at all. Maybe Heritage should have killed you. And Iskander argues back for a while through Mahit, but then Mahit is so mad she just slaps him in the face. I'm like, yeah!
Yeah, like, let's go!
Kill it!
Literally. Ritter is the next option. Get at it.
Yeah. Shortly after that, oh yeah, he's yelling at them because Mahit's like, oh, see, they're not so different. It's like the Imago tech. And Tarat's overhears, and that's why he gets so mad. He's like, how could you tell everyone? How could you tell everyone about the Imago technology?
Everyone knows. Like, as we learned in the previous book, like, it's a secret that everybody fucking knows.
And she's like, I didn't even tell anyone. Iskander told everybody.
Worst secret ever.
Yeah, I didn't even do it. But she does say, I would have done something else to make you just as mad at me.
Yeah, it's very much like the angry dad who
Yeah.
is like, oh my god, my daughter's gay. She's such a traitor.
Yeah, how could she do all this? How could she exist?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is kind of... Yeah, they're arguing, but honestly, it's totally interrupted because 20 Cicada interrupts them. It's like, it looks like Lyselle is farther ahead on mind unity, but I'm not so far behind. and Hibiscus is like, don't. But 20 Cicada replies, well, wish me luck.
Literally, wish me luck, goodbye.
Yeah.
And then has a snack.
Then he has a snack, yep.
And he also becomes a snack.
He becomes a snack!
Part snack, part trombone, part cat, part Teixcalaan.
Yep. He
He
becomes a snack from marshmallows.
Homeostat cultist.
Yes, perfect one-upsmanship. He becomes a mushroom.
Yeah. He becomes a mushroom. Oh no.
He had the forbidden lunchable. And
Yeah.
so-
The one covered in fucking cat mold.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's like the Lunchables that gave you like the extra spicy salsa.
Oh, what? I never had spicy salsa.
Yeah, they used to make these ones. They had God, it was like pieces of turkey. It wasn't a good combination, obviously, but it was like turkey had like these cheesy chips and salsa.
Huh.
And like a Lunchable.
I don't think I had one.
Interesting.
Interesting.
I know. No one really needs them now, except you just get deli meat. There you go. There's your Lunchable.
Yeah.
Nah, Paloma too, though. He had to have the goods, and you don't hear from him for a little while.
For a little bit. Actually, yeah, Hibiscus is like panicking, like she's like trying to grieve the loss of her friend, but there's no time. Whatever 20 Cicada did, it has slowed the aliens from attacking. There's reports from all over that they're not attacking anymore. She's not sure what to think. In fact, like what she is thinking is, I really want to ask Tony Cicada what he did. What is happening? This is totally unreal. And everyone just kind of is ending their attacks, I guess.
Yeah. Except for that one bitch who is like on a mission.
It's true.
Oh yes, so 16 Moonrise put herself on the outer perimeter of the space sector, just outside the jump gate, and then, but as this is all happening, she's continuously inching towards the planet, closer and closer, and then like as the message is getting transmitted on the antidote side, which you get the perspective of shortly, their ship is like, they're getting updates from Two Foam. The coordinator from before saying, oh my, hey, Nine Hibiscus, she's like prepping her weapon, she's moving closer, like that's in the background.
So they basically decide, like, okay, well, like, we'd rather not risk, like, total war at this point. Like, we just brokered peace. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Well, that didn't happen yet.
It's, yeah, not quite yet. But yeah, it's like everyone has stopped fighting. Nine Hibiscus gets the message from 8 Antidote, like, don't fight, don't genocide people unless, like, there's absolutely no other option. And Nine Hibiscus is like, well, we're not fighting anymore because of whatever Swarm did, so we're good here. And she tells everybody to stop. Except 16, like you guys said, 16. But then it turns out, Funny Cicada it has sent a comm to Nine Hibiscus because he didn't die.
Yeah.
He didn't
But
die.
he became one with the mushrooms.
Yeah, he became one with the mushrooms. He is part of the we now, and
he's part of the we. Yes.
Talks like in a syncopated way now. And he says that they would like to have a ceasefire and to have diplomatic relations with those who understand collectivity. So, like, Shard's pilots and the Sunlit and maybe even Mahit.
Yeah, I was I had to reread that section.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, it sounded disjointed, which obviously we know in retrospect why, but it was. What did I think about? It was the way his speech reminded me of is if you ever read a poorly translated manga or manhwa, people will write out the expressions, like, you know how in One Piece you read out the sound effects that were happening, like the dong, like in a poorly translated or scan.
You mean
translation.
Like the Dwayne JoJo's translation?
Yeah, when they write like hiss instead of doing like the term hiss or like the yawn, they literally yell yawn.
Chew.
Yeah, like that's what the text speech reminded me of. But we know he was learning to speak by them, and they were learning to speak through him. So I don't know. I find it interesting. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, and it's like he's having trouble being, because he's not himself anymore. He's a we. So, but also they don't know how to. Yeah, you're right. It is kind of like that. Like they don't know how to communicate, but they're trying. They also do know how to communicate because Funny Cicada.
Yeah, like you can see they're like actively looking up words. They're like, we want to sab, and then they're like literally flipping through the pages in like 20 Cicada's head, like, what's the word? Establish. There you go.
Yeah. True. All, and we are people. If are singing. If. Yeah, you're right. It is kind of like that.
Yeah. So what happens after that?
So there's the problem is that everyone has stopped fighting except for 16 Moonrise. She still wants to explode the entire planet. Not listening to orders. Nine Hibiscus sighs angrily. She asks, 20 Cicada to do her a favor, and he's like, yeah, of course. To go attack the parabolic compression, which is the ship that 16 is in.
Attack their own ship, basically.
The what?
Attack their own ships, basically.
Yeah, go and attack that ship, but only attack the bridge area. There's no need to kill all 3,000 people on that ship. Just
feel like this part of the book was like really convenient that they could do that, you know?
I know. I was like, is that possible?
Yeah. I feel like it would be more of a moral quandary if it was like, oh, you have to blow up all the innocent people too. But it seemed really like.
You know, I want more information on how they can just blow up the bridge and not the rest of the ship and it be okay. Because how are they gonna get home if the bridge is gone?
You know, I know. I was thinking about that. I'm like, I wonder how clean they did it. But I'm gonna say maybe I don't know. I don't even know how. But
Maybe they just sniped her, like just her.
Yeah, but wouldn't like still people on the ship be like, oh, we gotta drive forward, we're gonna bomb the place? Like no one got the orders to stop.
Yeah, I don't know. That it is my one confusion in the book is like, how did that work out? I don't know.
Yeah.
Please explain. Maybe they'll explain later.
Did they have like? I mean, they should at this point have any sort of like surveying properties where they can attach themselves or attach cords on a ship.
Yeah.
Perhaps they can do something like that with the Wii ships, because you know in the beginning you knew that the metallic properties could like latch onto the ships. Maybe that's something they could do.
Perhaps it is
Just
being described as like explosive glitter. Yeah, I guess my question was, how the heck are they going to destroy the bridge, and then how are those extra like 2,999 people going to get home without like a bridge, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, and she surely wasn't the only one on the bridge. You're right, Chaos. So I'm not sure. But I guess it's okay. We can sweep it under the rug.
Someone comes and picks them up.
Yeah, someone must
Yeah.
have came and picked them up.
Yeah, someone probably did call like an Uber XL, and they definitely got like a ride. It's fine. It was
Like
probably a little extra.
An
like,
Uber
lift,
like
but-
quadruple XL.
Yeah, the Uber shuttle.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. We don't get told, and I kind of wish we did get told, but I don't think there's any like narratively any eyes on it, I guess, other than the Wii. So I guess yeah, that happens. And yeah, Mallow agrees. No, not Mallow. Tony Cicada's like, yeah, Mallow, I won't kill too many people, and I don't know how they did it, but all is well that ends well, I suppose. Darj Turat is like going to leave the ship. He's like, oh yeah, you think you're just gonna be part of the negotiation council, Mahit? And Mahit's like, yeah, I don't know, maybe. And Darj Turat just says, yeah, well, you suck. Don't ever come home. You're not welcome. And then he leaves.
No, wait, no. Did we get to the part where she like punches out?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, okay. Why did I miss that? What?
She gets really mad and slaps him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
That
talked
was a really
about that.
satisfying part.
He is
Wait,
a
why
bitch
did
slap of a century.
Yeah.
What, is I asleep or something for that part? What
I
happened?
said it. Maybe I said it too fast. I don't know. Or I glossed over it too much.
If only you had the collective unit, you would have been able to be asleep and capture the action at the same time.
That's true.
Damn it, I know.
But yeah, no, it's great. I was like, slap him, kill him, it's good.
It's all good. Yeah.
But yeah, he just leaves, and Mahit's like, oh, okay. Like, I mean, how else is she supposed to react to that?
Once again, big gay vibes.
Yeah, big gay vibes, yeah. Don't ever come home.
Yeah.
Not being accepted by your family or your people, yeah. It's true. It's true. In it with the slap chop.
Slap chop.
And now we're on the last chapter of the book. They hold the peace by just killing the bridge on Moonrise's ship.
Can't believe that worked.
Somehow, I still don't know how that works, but I guess I'll accept it. Space technology.
Yeah.
Sure.
Ooh, space tech.
The post. Why did you write it like that, Chaos?
The postlude.
It is called a postlude, but
It's
not
the equivalent of
a
like
prelude.
tail end of the show. Someone sticks out their leg, show ankle. Same thing. Post. Little teaser.
8 Antidote gets home, and 19 Ads hugs him. Because, like, he's not dead, and it's... She praises him for having made an informed decision and carrying out the plan, and doing it all, and having it all work out mostly. She praises him again for not being annoying and dull. And he also tells her about the shard trick, which she didn't know about. And she's like, thanks for letting me know about that. And he feels good that genocide didn't happen. And he goes to his room to go to sleep. So at the end of the book, we have our bittersweet last scene.
I was not satisfied with this ending. Like, I was satisfied with everything up until like this point.
I
was
know.
like,
Yeah,
she
I feel like I
got to
got
punch.
slapped.
She got to punch
Punch.
her like homophobic dad.
Yep. She got to have sex with her girlfriend.
Yeah.
They had they successfully brokered peace with an alien race.
Mm-hmm.
But Mahi doesn't know what to do now. Three Seagrass offers her to just come back to the Jewel of the World with her, but Mahi doesn't want to do that right now. Mahi doesn't have a home, and she isn't sure what the answer is, like where is a home. The two confess that they love each other, but Mahi says that she needs to have Three Seagrass ask a third time for her to stay with her forever, because right now it's not the right answer for her, but it will be in the future.
That's such a toxic way to say it, though. I was like not satisfied with that at all.
I wasn't satisfied with it either.
I was like, bitch, just like decide for yourself.
Yeah, just say that you need to go and you need to go find yourself and then go hang out with your girlfriend, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I hate angst in stories. Just give me angst.
It's pretty angsty, because...
No, it actually kept me up at night. It's
oh.
My ex was like... It just reminded me too much.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I get it, though. It's like... they're not even breaking up, but it feels like they're breaking up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Three Seagrass instead suggests that, well, why don't you just have the Emperor offer you a position on various planets for a little while. Then we can write each other letters. You can send me comic books. I'll send you poems. Mahit says that she'll always write her back. That's kind of where we leave it.
But what happens next?
Yeah, what happens next?
What does happen next for our favorite pair of
space
lesbians?
For sad space lesbians.
When do they get married?
I know.
Seriously, where's the name invitation? God.
Mm-hmm.
We want to know.
I agree, though. I was mad that they weren't together in the end. And I feel like Arkady Martine is leaving it like this because she wants it to be open-ended if she wants to go back to Mahit and Three Seagrass story. But, you better give me a short story wrapping that all up nicely if you're not going to do that, please.
Yeah, if they're going to, string us along this long, I want a time jump. Jump, 5 years.
Where they're already married.
Jewel of the World.
Yeah.
Coming back for some other reason. You're like, oh, why is she coming back now? And all of a sudden, yeah, exactly, she gets, greeted by, the big old ring on Three Seagrass's hand and goes, well, let's go do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, and 8 Antidote is Emperor now, and he's all chill.
Yeah.
And the mushroom people are all chill.
Yeah. So why can't you be chill, Mahit?
I know, just be chill, like the mushrooms. Be a mushroom, be chill.
You couldn't calm down this entire time, and now you're too chill. You did not ride the line very fine.
I almost feel like if they had done a few days later, Mahit would have a different answer. That's kind of what it feels like. She just punched her abusive, toxic father. They just had peace happen. If she just thinks about it for a day. I don't know. That's kind of what it felt like.
Why didn't they just go to some other system planet and just chill for a while and figure things out? Why didn't they just talk about it?
Because they're bad at
seriously.
talking.
It's like those people.
It's so funny.
Bad at talking. It reminds me of the new shows now, like Love Island.
Mm.
That all the pretty much popular Gen Z people are on there, and it's so funny to try to see them communicate because they can't for the life of them. Like, they rather jump in a volcano than communicate. That's what that reminds me of.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, it is. Before we complain more about how Mahi and Seagrass are not together at the end, there is a a postlude, like Chaos was saying. From 20 Cicada's perspective, how he can hear everything that's happening. He can hear all of their feelings and all of their knowledge. He recognizes, I think the alien's name is actually Leap in all caps. Or did I interpret that wrong? I'm pretty sure his name was Leap, which I thought was funny. They are, now that they can understand 20 Cicada, they're like, oh, how do you talk? How do you do that? How does that work? And 20 Cicada sits down in the desert and like, well, I'll explain to you how that works. That's how the story truly.
Yeah, well, the mushroom people, the mushroom trombone cat people are like, oh, whoa. Wait, so you mean they're like all individual people? They're not part of a hive mind? This is too weird. This is too much. We need to sit down.
Yeah, they're like, we need to sit down. How does any of this work? And 20 Cicada's like, I'll explain it to you.
I like how they can communicate and they couldn't. Physically, metaphorically, spiritually before. But our favorite couple cannot communicate.
Yeah, I think this was... Yeah, that's kind of ironic how they were so useful at communicating, but in the end they were useless lesbians.
Yep, I know.
Indeed,
I know.
But I didn't like how open-ended the ending got, but I liked, I guess, the most consistent character in all this was 20 Cicada, just because of how ready he was for anything that happened in his life. Even the omission of like a new entire species up in his brain, he was still very much the, well, I guess this could happen. Well, let's just try to make, the best of what it could be. I understand what it could not be. I could have been dead, but we're gonna just keep going with it. That's what I liked about. I like his character a lot, personally.
You're different from me. I did not relate to Swarm that much. But that's why we all read the book, because we relate to different characters.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
I can't necessarily relate to Swarm, but I think that I liked his character because it reminded me of characters I liked from other sci-fi books. He was still very different. He's very unique.
Yeah, and I think this was I think this might be the best hive mind kind of character I've seen.
Yeah.
In the book.
Yeah, it was really cool because like Chaos said, they're all their own person, but they're also all together at all times, and they have no issues with that. Yeah, and it was nice because I'm sorry, I watch a lot of Star Trek. Star Trek tries to address this issue with the Borg, but they not with such nuance like I feel like this book has. They're not all they're all happy to be part of this hive mind, basically. That's just how their society works, and cool with that.
I could totally see a future where the homeostasis cult all kind of join with the Swarm.
Oh, yeah.
With Swarm, and we're oh, he is our founder, and now we're all part of this.
Yeah. Totally. No, that's fun to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I can see my personal hopes is that Martine will come out with a short story that will postlude that will give us a good wrap up for Mahit and Three Seagrass if she truly doesn't plan to write from their perspectives again.
Yeah, or even just a small thing that were and then they ended up together, and if the book is not about them, if there's other main characters, at least have a quick mention of oh, there's Mahit and Three Seagrass and they're together.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be fine too. There's some other series I've read that have done that really nicely. Just like be like, oh yeah, there's that one person girl from Information that got with the barbarian and now they're off on a planet.
Yeah.
Yeah. They could say it that way. I'd be okay with it.
Seriously, I would love if that would be the case that Mahit changed her name to her original, like,
Oh yeah, her like
given Teixcalaan name.
whatchamacallit? Yeah, her like fandom name.
Oh yeah.
She gave herself Nine Orchid.
Yeah.
I would like her to get her name changed if that was the case.
Yeah, if she decides that she wants to be part of Teixcalaan, maybe she will.
Mhm.
Because I don't think she can go back to LaSalle Station.
Or honestly, just have like a book of her like just journeying across the universe and sending letters to like Three Seagrass, and then they like figure out that they actually love each other and stuff.
Yeah.
That'd be good too.
Oh, an epistolary novel like that? That'd be so
Yeah.
cute. I love epistolary novel.
Mhm.
I really do, though.
Yeah. Big book of letters. I never heard of the term epistle.
Epistolary.
Me neither,
Epistolary,
actually.
but
Yeah.
epistle like letters.
This is why you're our librarian trips.
It's a literary work that's in the form of letters.
Yeah. Just like the Bible.
I think it might actually be pronounced epistolary, but whatever.
Whatever. We're not librarians. We don't know. You know the big word.
We don't big word. We don't big word good. Come on.
Yeah. Gosh. So I guess I have to ask, how did you guys feel about this duology as a whole?
I really enjoyed it. I think that I wasn't satisfied with the ending, but this was a great way to get back into reading. I'm very happy with it. Like, it's been a long time since I've been like, oh my god, let me continue reading. Please, please.
That's great. I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah.
I am very close. I'm very close to what Toto said. It's like I said, it's been a very long time since I've actually wanted to like continue reading a book. It's I literally just like staying up until like 2 reading when I was like, I really need to go to bed. But there's also like another chapter right there, so I really want to do that. It's all good. I'll just keep going. Like,
I beat you. I stayed up till like not sleeping because I lost sleep over this.
Oh my gosh, I feel bad though when you told me like I couldn't sleep. It's like, oh no. Alright, go ahead.
So I know it's like when I finished the book. So you could not sleep. I stayed in my car for like an hour. I had my food, like I was ready to go out my house, and then the book ended, and I was just like, whoa, and I just stayed in my car for like an hour, just like, what does it mean? What does it all mean?
It happened.
Yeah.
It hit different.
I agree. When I finished this book, I was like, wait, surely that's not the end of this series, right?
I was like, where's the post-lude?
Yeah, where's the post-lude? You enjoyed how the second book technically had less action than the first, but felt more kinetic. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
I think
smooth.
they're 2 very different books.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that she split them up.
Mm-hmm.
The first book was very much like kind of like in one place. The second book was more like, okay, there's a bunch of different characters, a bunch of different moving parts now.
Mm-hmm.
It worked so well.
Yeah, and I mean, she did it on purpose. She even said like, the first book is all about what's going on inside the Empire, and the second book's all about what's going outside of the Empire. But yeah, I think you said this last time, Toto, that I almost called you 3 Toto. How weird.
3 Toto.
3 Toto.
3 Toto.
That she got better. She got a lot better in her writing in the second book too, I think. Actually, I'm gonna glaze over. Because I don't know if the audiobooks have those acknowledgements.
I don't think they do.
She was happy to be able to spin Mahit's a little farther.
It like made it interlude and then had this weird space music going into black, and I'm just like, this didn't help. The end, that did not help me get more confused.
I know, that's funny. I kind of want to hear the music. In her speech, in Arkady Martine's speech, when she received the Hugo Award for this book, she just said that she wanted to write a tale about war that wasn't about the fighting. And it wasn't just about the politics, it was about, like, if we just sit down and try to, like, understand
figure shit out.
Yeah, if it's like, I don't know, there was one point when Eight Antidote was understanding, like, how the people worked. It made me think, like, if we all just sat down and, like, thought about how someone else lived their life, maybe we wouldn't be so mean to each other. You know, like, everyone would be a bit more compassionate. And I think that's kind of one of her messages based on what I remember of her speech. Yeah, if we just sit down and talk about all of our problems, maybe we would come to a conclusion, not have to fight it. Which is, like, such a simple message, but the way she told the story was very cool and adds a lot of cool elements, like lesbians.
Of the space variety.
Space variety. And, like, feelings of belonging to a community. Yeah, I don't know. Mahi really needs to get over herself, but I still like her as a character.
Yeah.
Yeah. First book, Individual and Empire. Second book, Relationships and... Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. I think, like, first one, like, both of them have a sense of, like, identity crises. Like, first book, she's, like, really trying to figure out who the hell she is, what she's doing here. And then the second book is like, okay, this is who I am. Kind of deal.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I'm curious. Who was your favorite character or characterization in this book?
I still really like 19 Ends.
Yeah, I really liked how they characterized her in this book, because she was still the exact same character. She was still just as terrifying, but and incredibly strong, but she really took a back seat, but, like, she was still referenced all the time, and everyone still revered her for what she had done and who she is. Yeah.
Okay, that is true. She didn't say much, but for what she said, she was pretty influential in giving 8 Antidote a way to figure out his existence, his opinions, his thoughts.
Right.
Otherwise, probably would have been like his plan probably wouldn't have worked if he didn't realize how far he had to reach to get that done. I would say, like, so 19 Ads is both your guys' answers?
No, I think for me, my absolute favorite character. I think within this book, I think 8 Antidote was my favorite just because of the character growth. I like seeing the character. And he, like, even though he's a child, he comes up with very adult solutions and doesn't just rely on the adults to solve it for him. I liked that. But
yeah,
just from a personal perspective, I think 3 Seagrass is my favorite character. I just like her. She's funny.
Yeah, I do like 3 Seagrass a lot still.
I like her, the way that her perspective sounds.
Chaos is
preaching
in the
Grass
chat.
For you too. I didn't see.
Yeah, I agree. She was a lot of fun. She did cut loose in more than one way, I'd say. She accomplished a lot, even if it didn't directly mean, well, the point, she did accomplish her goal of, helping First Point Contact, but plenty of character growth in the meantime.
How about you, Realm?
I'm stuck between 3 characters, I'd say.
That's
Yeah.
a lot of characters
That is a lot of
to be
characters.
stuck
know.
between.
Well, I loved, like you said, I loved 8 Antidote's character growth. I think that was substantial, and I'm very happy for him. But he used his noggin. 3 Seagrass definitely did her part and was very funny with all the little comedic. Well, actually, maybe you like shouldn't blow people out of the sky. That's just like a me thing. I don't know about you, you know. I liked her attitude, the book, and I really liked, like I said it before, but I really like 20 Cicada.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mainly just because I feel that I relate to him in that sense. Like my part of my degree was in philosophy, so you know I will be watching space videos at 1 a.m. that ask about the existence and true purpose of our you know, us and the whole meaning of the universe, stuff like that. Like I love that stuff. So anytime where someone would say like, what does it all mean? And I'm like, well, what do you mean, what does it all mean? It could be this, it could be that. Think about the whole perspective, you know. Like I can go into, you know, existential contemplative meanings of just about anything. And he was also a wise ass, and I feel like I am too, so that's why I felt like it worked out well. So not a lot of people around me are like that, so that's why I recognize it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's good we all have different because like book affected us all in our own individual way.
Yeah.
I like that.
Gives us something to think about.
Yeah. Oh, I guess we can do I'm glad to know that you guys both enjoyed the book, but we haven't done Slug and star ratings yet.
Yeah.
It is time. It is time.
Wow, wow, wow. We need to get like a art made for Star and Slug ratings.
Yeah.
I'll commission it.
Mm-hmm.
We can totally do like maybe just do like a whole scene, just a bit of a swish over to a whole like little board that has the Star and Slug rating.
Oh yeah. Like have like a bulletin.
Mm-hmm. Because you know, the more we're going about this, the more we're gonna have sort of like, you know, I watch Doug DeMuro. He's a automotive YouTuber.
Okay.
And he made his own scoring system based off of comfort, drivability, reliability, options, you know, driving experience. And he pretty much, as he's gone on, because he's reviewed cars for like 10 plus years, he has the category set so where, you know, your book will probably end up in a certain category similar to others. So like maybe the more books we go through, the more there may be a need for them to be like lined up with each other, see how they compare.
I guess so. I don't know how serious the Slug and the star ratings are.
Yeah, I don't like having like number ratings for everything, but it is fun to give an idea of like what we like the book.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But,
I think it's fun
like, I
to
think
like
at the end of the day, like our like number ratings will probably like change for books as we keep going.
That's true.
Maybe at the end of the year we'll do like oh, these were my favorite books of the year kind of deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the idea. I like that we have like our personal feelings and like the subjective being like, or sorry, the objective being like, do we think it's like objectively well written? Is it a good book? Because like there are books that I don't like that are objectively really well written books. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Anyway, at the very least, some sort of board that says what's what.
Totally, we can do that. We can even get. I mean, we can honestly commission Dawn to do it.
Dun 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 dun. Please do.
Yeah, end of the year
Our
book
friend, the
card
pal.
perspective. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because I plan on doing one for all the 40 books that I've read so far this year. Probably 50 by the end of the year. But I'd like to do one when we have like a full year of books with you guys too. I think that'd be cool.
That'd be swell.
So Desolation Called Peace, I think I give it so Slug is personal.
Mm-hmm.
I think I give it a 8 out of 10 stars. I think it's a really good book. I think there are some parts I would have wanted more.
Mm-hmm.
As for Slug rating, I think I give it a 10 emotional traumas out of 10.
10 emotional traumas out of 10.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Wait, I'm always gonna. I need to write it down. Hold on, I'm gonna write it down right now. Slug is subjective. Star is objective. Or is it the other way?
Yeah, Star is subjective.
Slug.
Star is object. Yeah, Star. Wait.
Yes.
Star is
objective. And Slug is subjective.
Okay.
Is that it? I thought it was the other way around. I forget. I feel like we confuse these all the time.
We'll decide this time, and I have it written down so I won't forget anymore.
Well, first it was the objective part of it was more of a subjective question when we were just like, would you recommend this to a person?
Yeah.
Star was our subjective feelings either way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then Star is 10 traumas out of 10.
Okay. Subjective. Good, I got it. I'll not forget for next time.
Easy peasy.
Realm, how about you? What are your Slug and Star ratings now that we've established what they are?
In my humble opinion, I would give this 8.5 slugs out of 10. Personal feeling, if it didn't have the open-ended ending, it would have gotten they would have gotten a 9. It was a very good book.
Mm-hmm.
It just, the ending punched me in the gut, and I did not like it.
Yeah.
So, which, they say, well, it's only one aspect of the book, but it's a pretty significant part. It's the it's the goddamn ending, and I've seen enough stories where I can understand if I can, can I separate myself from the ending from the entirety of the book? I can enjoy the journey, but the destination, I there's a whole point in going to it. Mm-hmm. So 8.5 for my slug rating. I would. I'm gonna stay the same. Stay the same for the star rating. It's very hard pressed to give a book an almost perfect score, but I definitely would recommend someone read it. I would say read the first book. You'll really like it, and the second book is just the add-on, the addition, the plus, a really good.
I think the second, you do need to read the first book to understand the second book. I feel
like
the second book is actually more easy to chew than the first book.
Yeah,
there's more going on.
I'm confident people will like the first book.
Mm-hmm.
That's how much.
It also does feel like she's become more confident as a writer in this.
Yeah. Okay, a slugjective.
Yes.
Yes, I will say that as long as I don't turn it into a tongue twister.
Slugjective.
Exactly. I'll just crash if I keep trying to say that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure people would like the first book, and then I'll be like, but it gets better.
Yeah.
The writing gets better. You'll there's more to it. So enjoy the ride.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. I think. Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was saying, how about you?
Oh, me? Okay. Well, my slug rating, the objective one, is I still think I think it's really well written. I as far as a space opera goes, not saying that space operas are bad, but sometimes they're written in a very slow manner, and you're bored, and I never found myself getting bored personally while reading it. So I gave it 4.5 stars on Goodreads, so I'm gonna translate to that a 9 stars in slugs.
Mm-hmm.
I really do think it's a well-written book, and if you like sci-fi, you're probably gonna like the mythology. And even if you don't like sci-fi, it might be an okay way to get back into sci-fi. For my star rating, I also give it a 9. Again, it's not a perfect 10-star read because, well, it does leave on such a sour ending. It's sad. I had wondered why. I actually gave it like 4.5 stars, I think, when or no, 3.5. I don't remember how much, but like I didn't give it like a full rating on whatever website I was using, and I didn't remember why, and now I remember why. It's because of the ending. I also think, yeah, the ending feels very fast, and now remembering that like 16 Moonrise just like dies very strangely. There's a couple spots, but for the most part, I think it's really good. It's actually a pretty decent queer story too. It's representing like coming out, and even though your family might not like you, you'll find family elsewhere. Pretty decently, despite not outright saying it. Yeah, it's just a good book. It didn't hit me as hard as the first book did because I think Mahit's struggles in Teixcalaan were much more similar to my own struggles at the time when I first read that book, but still a good book. Still had fun, and I like the aliens.
Yeah, I think having like something more sci-fi in this book also helped it be a little more not interesting. What's the word? Engaging?
I could see that. Hello,
True. It got more like altruistic than their previous book, because like the previous book kind of tempted you with like possible advanced technology, hive mind pieces, but it was more about the subjective like state of the land, like we already know what a paradise should or could look like, but it was a little more political. This one was a bit more, well, yeah, there's politics and there's moving pieces, but like understanding the bigger picture is how they barely got out of the situation, peacefully. So the looming threat of those concepts made it such a more appealing book, I think. It made the mystery more. Like you said, like sorry, what was it? You said like how they were displaying the coming out story, but not overtly saying it. I'm like, what? Well, that would make the book less appealing if they just outright said it. So I liked all the abstract concepts.
Yeah, I mean, it ties into the theme of like personal connection to your culture, institutions. I think it's cool. We gotta hydrate.
Oh boy.
I feel like how she kind of, like Mahit, kind of didn't really go for either culture. Which is also like something like I've kind of experienced with the LGBT community, because I'm not like like I'm not into like high fashion or drag or like these other things that like some trans women are into or some lesbians are into. And I don't go to like big pride parades. I'm a quiet gay.
That's fair.
So it's a lot about finding like your own culture, even if it's like you reject one culture, but that doesn't mean you go the exact opposite either.
True. Yeah, and I can relate to that too. In realizing that I don't consider myself to have gender, but also I know that I look like a person that has gender, so how do I confront myself with that? Yeah. Not that that's super prominent here, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I personally love language, so the fact that they just talked about language a lot in this book made me happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do feel like, in like if a weaker writer wrote this,
right,
could have been like, oh, I'm gonna join the Empire, I'm gonna be like the exact opposite, or like, oh, like this is the good side, just the bad side. But it's never clear who is good.
Yeah.
They're both like not evil. They're both just trying to do their own interests, like do good by their own culture.
Yeah.
You really understand that in the book. And that's really hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really liked there are very few, if any, like self-projecting feelings from Martine in this book. She did a very good job with distinguishing the ambiguity along with the political tension of all the sides that were involved. That's very hard to do. It's very hard to remain objective, and especially under pressure with how many eyes are, certainly she's not having a live reading, and this is, she's not reading this in front of thousands of people, but like this book is being sent out to so many people, and the fact that like it didn't garner any criticism based off of political views, says a lot of how well she, showed all these themes, the book.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Showed a lot of restraint.
Showed a lot of what?
Like showed a lot of restraint.
Oh,
not
yeah.
like saying like, oh, this is obviously the good side.
Yeah.
This is obviously the bad side.
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
You can tell she like probably was a history major or something, or has studied history.
Oh yeah, she does. She has a historian. So yes.
yeah, exactly.
I think she has a PhD in like history or something like that. Yeah.
Super casual.
Yeah.
What else was I gonna say? I forget. I forget what I was gonna say. Go on.
Yeah. I'm glad that I could bring you into starting a book club, and you guys liked the books that I picked.
Hell yeah!
I'm glad, because I don't know, these books really they're some of the best books I've read in the past few years. I think there's a lot with new sci-fi. A lot of the writers are actually, they're women, and they're writing from perspectives that we just haven't seen before. So there's a lot to consider. I think it's not. I'm enjoying that space operas aren't so dry anymore. Honestly, it was great, and I'm glad that you guys liked it too.
Yeah, I trusted your opinion, whatever the book was, even before you told me what book it was. So,
oh, thanks.
I am happy that that ascended and only furthered my opinion that I was right, and you got good book taste.
Yeah.
Got wonderful people here who like the books.
Don't trust yourself, trust the books, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Yes. Or to throw it the other way, if you can't believe in yourself, believe in the others that believe in you.
Yeah, for yours is the slug that will pierce the heavens.
In the form of a slug phone.
Yeah, I gotta get Die Slug on. That's hilarious.
The Mega Sluglodon.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mega Sluglodon. Slug drill.
Yeah, Slug drill.
Slug drill. Pierce the heavens.
Who the hell do you think we are?
Going forward, I did tell these two this before, but we'll just in a minute we can announce what our next read is. But I think I'm going to be putting together like a list of like 12-ish books, maybe a few more, like maybe like 14, so we have options of books to pick throughout the year, so we can have like one for each month. If you have any books of any genre that you really enjoyed, tell me them.
Yeah, we've already got lots of good suggestions on the Discord.
Yes, I have a lot of suggestions on things I'm considering, and there's just other books that I really like that I think would be good picks, but I'm open to reading anything. Anything that really moved you, especially. Like, think there's just some books in your life where you read that really change the way you think, and I don't know, I think it's fun to read books that change other people. If they'll change me too, I don't know. Yeah, and you can honestly just contact me anywhere, on Twitter, on Discord. I'll write it down. The only book I liked was The Giver. The Giver was good when I read it when I was like 11. I don't know. I don't remember it anymore though.
The same age as 8 Antidote? Coincidence? I think not.
true.
God, I couldn't even tell you the last book I read before this.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
been a
Oh,
hot
I
minute.
can. It was like all the way back in like junior year of college. What was it? It was surprisingly also has to deal with lesbians, but
Nice.
it was Ruth Oseki's My Year of Meats.
Oh yeah.
MEATS.
I'm gonna look up. I think I might have known the book. It was
I-
also junior year of college.
Do know that book. Yeah, my year.
Yeah.
I haven't read it, but I know what it's about.
Yeah, it's about a Japanese woman who is in an abusive relationship, a very, very abusive relationship with her husband. And then at the very end, she finally, I mean, a lot of shit happens. It's been a while since I read this book, obviously. But in the end, she like breaks up with him. She decides to go off on her own life, and then like the nurse at the hospital who's like helping her recover, she does a little smooch.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, time to go out and live my life.
Yeah, Ruth Ozeki is a pretty good author, I think, but I haven't read her since I had to for school. So I don't know. I don't know what else she's.
Oh yeah, no, I totally forgot. It's like two stories because there's also like an Japanese American like woman in the States who's like making a TV show called My American Wife, and then that's kind of what inspires the Japanese woman to like, go out and be her own stuff, do her own thing. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good, but it's also been like forever since I read that book. Yeah, you don't have to read it. I'm just like recounting the last book.
No,
I read.
that's fine. I'm like looking at what she's written. But yeah, I think I don't know. I guess as a segue, we can announce then what we are reading next. It's actually not a book, which is okay.
Not a book? Oh, so it's a manga then?
Yeah, no, it's not a manga.
What? It's not a manga? What?
Wait, could it be?
What? Not a book, not a manga, and a movie? Anime? What? Newspaper?
Yeah, we're gonna read a newspaper.
Someone to check on it.
Picture books, perhaps?
Yeah, maybe the back of like the toothpaste bottle.
Yeah, we're gonna read nutrition
God.
facts tags.
You're crazy.
I will have since I started this book club and I asked Toto and Realm to be a part of it, I chose the first two books and Toto picked One Piece, which is gonna take us a long time to read.
Yeah, so I feel like I shouldn't suggest anything else because I already suggested One Piece and that'll take us like 2 years. No.
We turned to Realm to pick something that he enjoyed reading and wanted us to read. So Realm, what are we gonna read?
Yes, so we are going to be reading the first manhwa I was introduced to, out of the many top 10 lists. But also, my friends were just like, if you want to get into webtoons, the dichotomy between webtoon and manhwa and other manhwa spellings and iterations vary quite a bit, but everyone does enjoy solo leveling. So I figured that would be a great introduction to webtoons, manhwa, and the like. So we'll be learning all about Sun Jin Woo, the absolute Chad, who goes from being the weakest hunter to the strongest, and all that fun stuff.
I know absolutely nothing about this series, but it looks pretty sick.
Me neither.
Oh my god, the art, yes. The artist, unfortunately, earlier this year he did pass due to a health issue he was having. But his art is regarded as like one of the best in the industry.
Yeah.
So he put a lot of time and effort into it, and one of the most beloved series that has gotten like really, really good translations. So as soon as you Google it, you'll be able to find a heaping amount of translation sites who will be able to have all the chapters ready for you.
Right.
So, Realm, what's the back of the cover synopsis you can give us?
Yeah.
Sure. So this is the story of Sun Jin Woo, who lives in Korea. This world that he lives in has these weird events happen where monsters start to inhabit the world. So along with the monsters who have come to the world in form of dungeons, this has also unlocked the people known as the Awakened, who become structurally more powerful. The higher ranking you are, typical to a manga series of like an adventurers guild, you start out as like an F rank or E rank hunter, and you go all the way up to like, S, depending on your abilities, how long you've been hunting, how the whole world develops as you're going along here. So he is, at this point, I'm not spoiling anything, he is, like I said, one of the weakest hunters. Being a weak hunter doesn't mean you're actually weak, it's just like you're weak comparatively to other ones. So you're just learning about his life, learn what he does, and the many turns that he enjoys while trying to become, someone better. He has people to care for, so you learn like who he has with him and where he goes from there.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I will say this
So-
is something I never would have picked up on my own. I actually think it's good that you picked this because it's forcing me to go outside of my comfort zone. Yeah, like not that it doesn't look. It looks very beautifully drawn. It's just the name Soul Leveling doesn't draw me in, honestly. So like I never clicked on it to look at what it was about or anything.
Yeah, it I wonder what sort of appeal it got. It was actually one of the first, like, this sort of popularity is what started the serialization of physical copies of manhwa. So like now, like I went to Comic-Con last month, and I got my friend, like the first edition of I forgot what it was, Lord Olympus, another popular webtoon. But I think Solo Leveling was the one that really made people want to go out and like get the official localization of it being printed. Otherwise, it was just like a very internet-based community. I did mention it to you guys earlier in the library off, our little chat. But to people who don't know, once you start reading Solo Leveling, a lot of its themes do transfer over to other series. Typically, everybody comes based off of a light novel, which, similarly to manga, then goes to an actual manhwa adaptation. So the original light novel was called I Alone Level Up. Then it got translated to Solo Leveling, and then it got translated as a manhwa. So
Did you hear that it got an anime announced?
Yes, and this happens to be the perfect time because it did, and is soon going to be given its full anime adaptation.
Okay.
And premiere in 2023.
Indeed.
Oh,
I heard there are a couple of things that are getting changed. I hope they're not true, like the enemy in the latter half of the story, or the overarching theme of the quote-unquote villain. Like I said, it's ambiguous, but it's whoever pisses off Sung Jin Woo,
Yeah.
But the first portion, there is a chapter 0, I will say. It gives it a bit of a teaser, but you don't need to read it. I was gonna give you guys chapters 1 to 64 to read, and you'll get a better understanding of the entirety of, like, how he becomes the person he needs to be.